What's up? What's up?
So it wasn't until I moved to LA at 18 I started listening to Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, and all the crazy people. And they were telling me the white man is against you because of your color. And being young, and I thought they were leaders, I fell for their lie. And then I finally realized I had been lied to. So I dropped the Democrat and went to the Republican Party. That's the main reason why you switched Republicans. Yeah, I realized they were lying to me, and that my issue was
What's up? What's up?
but they made us think that, and I had hatred for white people too. Once I listened to them, I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, I did too, because my mom was showing us Roots.
Yeah.
You know, the black shows.
Yeah.
I would go to school the next day just looking at the white people.
Right.
Right? And it just, I don't know, it put a hatred in me. I think over time it developed, it gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
I saw a white person looking at me.
Yeah.
I was like, they're looking at me like that because I'm a Negro.
Yeah.
You know? Looking back on it, that white world.
Good evening. Hey there. How y'all doing?
But my mama had fed me these lies that white people against you, white people against you.
That is so true, man.
Yeah.
I used to think that anytime white people disagreed with me at work or something, I totally thought it was because I was black.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just couldn't believe there's two people just disagreeing.
Yeah, you see things that's not there.
Yeah, that is so true, man. And so finally I realized that.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
And the white man holding me back. Why is it that he's not holding Jesse Jackson, his family back, Louis Farrakhan and all? They were living in amazing homes, and they had jobs, and the kids had fathers and mothers. And I'm like, why are they holding them back? And that's when I realized I had been lied to.
It's all the games.
Yeah, and that's right. So I read the Republican platform, and I'm like, I'm out of here. No more Democrats. Yeah, and I just turned away from them.
Yeah, and it's still true today. Look at all the celebrities and all the blacks just, made a name for themselves, whether it's in Hollywood or acting or music career. They always badmouth Republicans. They always badmouth white people. Yeah. Because Hollywood, that whole line of work is ran by liberals and Jews.
So white people are afraid of the blacks.
You can't blame them, Jesse.
I know, yeah.
You can't blame them.
Violent, but
you know what, Jesse? I'm scared of black people.
Me too.
You know?
I want to go to the hood.
Yeah, I went to the hood a couple times. I said, I ain't never doing this again.
Yeah. I have a family member who live in the hood. And I just call now. I used to go and listen sometimes. Especially before the crime got so bad. It was really bad down in LA. And
how y'all doing?
So I don't really go to the hood.
Yeah. I met my two black friends. Like, I got to a point where I just started judging black people differently because I started to notice a trend.
Yeah.
What y'all think about the black fatigue? How y'all feel about that?
This guy's a nice guy. I can tell
Chris is black.
Yeah, he's black. Yeah, he's black. Both of their names is Chris.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
They ran out of names, huh? What?
I remember one time I was up in LA, I got lost. And I was in this ghetto area. I was like, oh my God, you look at these Negroes over here. Yeah, watch this a scary place.
Yeah, it is now. When I first moved to LA, it wasn't that bad.
What happened? Democrats.
Yeah, Democrats.
Used to be a Republican state.
The Mexicans moved in. And so there's a war going on between the blacks and the Mexicans over there.
The Mexicans winning that. They taking that land back.
They are taking it. Yeah. And so it just got just a mess over there right now.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Yeah. When I first moved to LA, I worked in Watts for a while.
Yeah.
That's how nice it was. Compton area.
Right.
But it's just gotten worse over the years.
Yeah, what happened? Because I was looking at some old pictures of Compton and Watts. You got to see people, white people that used to live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter
But
of
now
fact,
it's all Section 8. It's like really ghetto.
but the Mexicans are running the blacks out now.
Yeah.
Because they hate the blacks and the blacks hate them. So
it's supposed to be all Black Lives Matter, right?
Not over
That's
there.
a joke.
Not over there.
You know what? The one
you gotta have white parents.
Yeah. I have. Well, my daddy was really light. My great grandfather was from Ireland. Yeah.
Oh. So why do you guys have white people eyes?
Because of him, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy. My dad, he got his eyes from his granddad, and it came down through us.
And he was white.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was black. Yeah, but he was really light though. Yeah. He looked like
Thank you guys for joining in. Appreciate it.
Like Elvis with a tan on.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah. We actually came from one of the biggest plantations.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Book about it.
Really? Amazing. So when your master said he said, do you say yes, sir, master? We said.
I'm glad I ain't grew up during that time.
When my master said he said, I said yes, sir, master. We said.
Hey Jesse, explain to us what it was like growing up during the civil rights
movement
and all that. How was it for blacks?
Before the civil rights movement, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you hear these stories that blacks and whites did not get along. That's not true. I'm sure you can find bad people in our groups, but we treated each other the way we like to be treated. Mm-hmm. When I saw white people, I treated them the same way they treated me, the same way they would do anyone. And,
thank you.
It didn't change until I do remember going to
appreciate you guys, man.
Once down in Eufaula,
humble guy, father of four, married.
And the blacks had to sit in the back.
Love America.
Mm-hmm.
Like and subscribe. Appreciate it
because we had better view. Mm-hmm. We could see better up there, but it still wasn't just animosity that women told. My family owned land. Matter of fact, one of my aunts, she and her husband, they had like 15, 16, 17 children, right?
Oh,
maybe more.
Fuck?
And they owned land. They never had to work the fields and things like that. They owned their
own
own property.
Is.
And we did our own thing. It wasn't what you've been told that it was like. That changed when the civil rights movement came along.
We started to integrate with whites.
Good morning from Israel. Good morning.
That should have never happened.
Thanks for joining in.
Blacks and white would have come together on their own.
From Chicago, now living in Rockford.
Didn't agree? Right. It would have happened naturally. Mm-hmm. But you can't force anyone to love you. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to force the white people to accept the blacks. Mm-hmm. It was a big mistake. Yeah. And so it's just been down here ever since.
Back in those days, like blacks had everything. They had their own doctors, had their own transportation.
Yeah.
And did you see any ghettos?
This video about 2 days old about, you know what I'm saying, about black fatigue, how
violence, no crime.
Oh, look at those pictures.
None of those things when I was growing up.
How in Chicago, these young teens, these young teenagers out there wilding out. No respect for the cops, no respect for the law. They out there just tripping.
In high school, and that was on over a baseball bat. I thought we both would fight over. We were on the baseball field. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This guy thought it was his time, and I thought it was mine, and we were fighting over that. But that's about it.
So it was no ghettos? It was
no ghettos, no fighting, no crime at all.
Yeah.
No crime. Nobody around me committed crime that I'm aware of at all. It was unheard of. It was totally different than it is today.
So when you see like those, like there's been some moments in history that the civil rights movement like grabbed onto, embraced.
Like and subscribe.
To force integration, like what happened to Emmett Till. What was it? Eggers down in that Mississippi?
Yes.
So you're saying like these types of incidents were like isolated?
Yes.
Really?
Poor America. They're gonna
no problem, dear. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Emmett Till, 100 years gone by, they're still talking about Emmett Till.
Right.
That happened then, and we don't know the true story about that, what really happened. Mm-hmm. They just kind of made up stuff to make it look like what they wanted it to look like so they can control the blacks. Mm-hmm. It really, something happened and we don't really know the whole detail.
Right, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what happened with
oh yeah, Jesse. Oh yeah.
A bunch of white guys grabbed him and killed him and buried him or something.
He a pioneer.
I'm kind of ignorant on what happened. I just remember that name.
They said one of the guys looked at a white woman.
Yeah, Emmett Till.
Yeah, and as a result, looked at a white woman and killed him. Now, I don't know how true that is. There's always more to the story than what you hear. Excuse me. And because human beings are evil, did you know human beings are evil?
Oh yeah.
No, it's worse than what you can think. And because they're evil, and they won't admit they're evil so they can overcome it, you never know what the real truth is.
Yeah, I mean, I look how evil the world is. Like, we go to school,
Yeah.
they teach you to stand in line, be nice to your neighbor, this and that, don't cut line, just little stuff like in kindergarten. Like, just imagine if people wasn't taught how to be good, how evil everybody would be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's just an evil world we live in. I think it's naturally. It's a natural inclination to be. You actually got to teach people to be good.
But that doesn't work either. You really can't teach anyone to be good, because think about it. Christianity is supposed to be a religion that teaches us to love one another and to be good and to have a moral life and live.
Right.
Nobody is living up to that.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And so even our parents who tried to teach us to be good, it didn't work.
Yeah. No
one is living up to it. The only way you're going to be good is that you got to admit that you're evil. Yeah. And that's the hardest thing. Salvation of the heart. So God said that we got to admit.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Anyone that has anger is playing God. They think they know right from wrong. They judge themselves and others. They cannot be trusted. God said, never trust an angry person. An angry person is an evil person, and they are your enemy, and do not trust.
Yeah, watching Jesse throughout the years, he helped me get red pilled, and especially the Hart twins. They went from having a workout channel to now being conservative. Do y'all research, man. Do y'all research.
Trust them. So, but when you admit that you're evil, hey, I'm evil, I'm wrong, and then you forgive your parents, because that's what did, especially your mother. And
don't get me started on women.
Then you go and forgive your mother, because all human beings hate their mothers. There's not one that doesn't.
I think I love mama. I love my mama. Mama's crazy. Mama's crazy. She would have the Bible in one hand and cuss you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
But when you forgive your mother, males and females, when you forgive your mother, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you couldn't help yourself, because you become just like your mother. Any man that has anger is a woman.
Yeah.
He thinks, he reacts, he has emotion like a woman. He becomes like his mother, because you become like what you hate. But when you go and forgive her for turning you away from your father, playing victim,
amazing,
impose her will, I'm sorry for resenting you. God will forgive you, and he will change your heart from anger to love.
What the?
Then he changed that old nature from anger, from fear and doubt and loneliness and insecurity and worry.
Like and subscribe.
And suicidal thought. He would take all those things and give you his nature. Then you'll be a perfect love, and you will have perfect peace, and you have a perfect life. Yeah. But you got to return to the Father.
I never embraced that idea that I'm African American. I always just thought I was Black American. Yeah. And what does it even mean to be two nationalities? Yes, all you're doing is taking two nationalities, two ethnicities. You were born in America, so you're just a Black American. There's nothing African about anybody that's Black that was born in this country.
As a matter of fact, if you're an American, you go over to Africa, they're not going to treat you like an African American.
No, they're
going to treat you like an American.
Yeah.
They don't treat you the way that these blacks try to pretend it. They do not do that.
Yeah, they look at us like we're ancestors of slaves.
They don't. That's right. Yeah. They don't. They're not going to treat you well in Africa.
Right.
Not at all.
I see a lot of these Black people here in America. They dress African. Are they mocked when they go to Africa? When they dress like that?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would doubt it.
I would go to Africa, but right now it's too weird.
Yeah.
They're like killing white people.
No potato, please. Thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate you.
They've taken over South Africa, and then the white people moved out to the farmland, and the blacks were going out there robbing and killing and raping them as well.
Yeah.
So what's wrong? Well, it's the mother spirit.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with the blacks? So I gotta ask.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at you guys, I feel like when I look this way, I'm still looking that way.
Right.
What? This is weird.
Yeah.
So do y'all feel each other pain?
Nah. Nah, none of that shit going
If
on.
one of you, meaning that if one of you are out there somewhere and you're in trouble.
Sometimes I have a bad premonition, a bad
yes.
vibe. I call them up and say, "You okay? You didn't get no accident?" It's, no, I'm right here just look at the TV. Sometimes it comes, but it hasn't. Nothing's bad happened. Yeah, we don't have bad feelings. We don't have telepathic powers.
So do y'all like get angry at each other at times?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, because doing we work like 5 days a week and like 12-hour days, so it gets stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you work long hours too.
Oh yeah, I get up at 3 every morning, and I'm at the office about 4 to 5, and so I work all the time. Wow. That's why it's so hard to get me up here because I was just so busy.
Right.
And then the last time we were supposed to come, the fire thing happened.
Yeah, the fire happened.
So,
right.
Hey,
are you married at all? Or?
No, I've been engaged twice. I did it the black way.
The black way? What's the black way?
I have a child, made a child out of wedlock.
Oh, you're a baby daddy.
That's right.
Michael, thanks for joining. Thank you for subscribing, Michael. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Grandkids, adult grandkids now. And then my granddaughter got married, and she and her husband have 3 sons. And so I have a family. I just did it the black way. And I got engaged twice. But
what, black women or?
Yeah. I never thought I would marry a white woman.
Yeah.
I did grow up thinking I wanted to be with a white woman, though.
But we always said, I want to be with a white woman.
Yeah. Because
you never dated a white woman?
I have. What happened was, when I was growing up, my uncles used to go up to New York and Florida for the summer, and they would come back and they would talk about the white woman. And
the white woman.
And I was young, you know. They were talking about the white woman.
Yeah.
And the white woman, I don't know if I can say this on TV.
Yeah, you can probably say it. Go ahead.
But the white woman was different than the black woman in bed.
In bed?
In bed.
Oh, what did they say? What was the difference?
I can't.
No, go and say it. Go and say it.
I'll put it this way.
Go and say it, Tristan.
They would say things that the white women would do in bed that black women would not do.
Like and subscribe.
I found that to be 100% correct.
Yeah. And so black women, they would never do those things, right?
Right.
And so I was like, wow, I'm going to get me a white woman.
I'm telling you, Jesse, these white women suck the soul out of you.
Damn.
Yeah, white women is totally different. Well,
yeah, but black women are like that now, though.
Yeah, but I think we just had bad experience with the black woman we chose.
Thank you.
Mexican.
You're married to a Mexican now. Yeah. And how about you?
Me too.
Mexican.
She was Mexican. She's a citizen now, so.
She was illegal alien.
No, she came here legally, but we had to go back to see the Juarez and get her papers off it. She had to leave the country for about. She let her visa lapse or something. Yeah, she had to stay in see that Juarez about 30 days. And then they gave her.
Thank you.
What? And you're Mexican from illegal too?
Appreciate it.
She wasn't illegal.
So do you guys speak Spanish?
I've learned a little bit of Spanish.
See,
trying.
Galactus. And so I moved to California, and I said I'm gonna go to junior college because
you running a white woman.
Yeah, that's why I went. That's the only way I went.
To get you a white woman? That's why I joined the military.
I rest my case.
Amazing.
One of them white women.
I heard that if you wanted a white woman, the best place to get one is in a college.
Yeah, that was the best kind.
Yeah. And so I went to junior college, LA City College, to get me a white woman.
Yeah.
I could hardly pass the SAT to get in there. But
you gotta work for them white women.
Right. Because I'm not a school person. I love school, but for fun. Yeah. Basketball and track and dating and stuff like that. So I got into LA City, and I met a white girl, and it was true what they said.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got with her, I dropped out of college. I literally just dropped out.
As soon as you got that white woman, check that off your list. I can leave college.
Right. And I left right in the middle of the stage. I left.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason I had gone. It didn't take very long to get a white woman because white women love black men.
Yeah, right.
And so they feel sorry for black men, I guess.
Man,
Give me some, they empathetic.
Right.
that's crazy.
Go give us some to this Negro. Man. Life is hard for him. let me give us some of that white privilege over here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I dropped out of college. And that was the only white woman I was with. Because I found out it was true. And by that time, black women started to change too. They would try to act like white women in bed and everything. And so I got engaged, and I was dating a priest's woman, a daughter. And she thought she had got pregnant. She's like, oh, I'm pregnant. Too bad. And she's like, no, my family gonna kill me. I'm like, but I'm not ready for marriage. And she was fine.
Really?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This girl was so fine. I used to have, at the time I worked for the hospital, and I used to have her come up to the hospital to have lunch with me, and I would walk her all over the hospital. So everybody can see.
Just doing this round. Bringing this woman around.
Man.
She thought she was pregnant, and then later she found out she wasn't. Her monthly thing was late. And she left because I wouldn't marry her, so she left town.
But she wanted to marry you, huh?
Yeah. And then I got engaged one more other time, and that relationship didn't work because once I got engaged, because this woman was trying to control me. She acted like she wasn't controlling long we were dating, but once we got engaged, she wanted to control me. And I had bought her a ring and everything. And then I'm like, look, you better cut it out. Nobody gonna control me. Cut it out, cut it out. And then she started being jealous and all that. So I said, okay, I'm done. I got my ring back and called it off. And I got my money. Yeah.
Did she give it back or did she?
I asked her, hey, give me my ring.
Yeah, she gave it to
And
you.
I got my money back. Yeah. And so.
Was she a black woman?
Yes. She was black.
You ain't getting that ring back.
No. Nowadays you
probably gonna get shot too.
Because the men don't know how to get it back. They're beta.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the woman, so they can't take it back.
Hey, have you noticed, like, in our communities, like, I know you said black women changed over time. They wanted to act like white women and stuff, but have you noticed a trend with black women? They're, like, very, very masculine.
Yes.
Well, they're aggressive.
It's so unfortunate, too.
Yeah.
And that's because they have not been raised by fathers.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. He wasn't even looking for that punch. That dude was looking.
Why he on the ground? Amazing. That's crazy.
Like he was drunk.
I'm telling you, it's unfortunate though.
Yeah.
Because these women are lost.
Yeah. What do you think caused that? Because I don't see this in other races of people.
They haven't had fathers in the last 70 years or so.
Yeah.
At least in my days, the fathers and grandfathers were there, and women would carry themselves, especially black women, in a different kind of way.
Right. Yeah.
And they were not like this. You know, they respected themselves and others. There is no way that any woman that I know would have been acting like this in public. They didn't act like that at home. That changed once the civil rights movement came along, and the government became the daddy of the family, and they pushed the man out of the way. And the women, they stroked the woman's ego and told her
Appreciate it. Yep.
how smart she is, how hard life is because she didn't have a man. And so the spirit of the mother has been passed on generation to generation. And no father, this is what you're getting. And it's going to get worse before it get better if men don't change.
Yeah.
When I see it, it's kind of funny a little bit, but it's sad.
Yeah.
It Really, because these women are lonely, they're lost, they're empty.
Thank you guys. Like and subscribe.
Trying
Trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Trying to get there, man.
Even to
Humble
their
guy.
boyfriends and
Trying to get
husbands
there.
to be like a
Appreciate
father
you
to
guys.
them,
Thank
guide
you.
them, but the men don't have it either, because they have not had a father to guide them.
Right.
And so it's sad, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Like this past election, like when Kamala lost, they tried to put this idea out there that black women are the most educated group of people in the country. I was like, as soon as I heard that, I knew that was a lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're using the women to promote the Democratic Party. They use them to bring.
Hey, I be a coon, man. I love America. I love myself. God.
And if you see,
Glad you're here, Dark City. Like and
you
subscribe.
have these black women in Congress, and but they're loudmouth, they're
Jasmine
yeah.
Black Tig is for real, man.
Women were not like that prior to the civil rights movement. Black women were amazed. They were respectful. Of course, you can find some angry ones.
1652. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you.
They very classy.
They did very much so. To a point, I honestly, when I was growing up, I thought that only white people sinned.
Really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much, man.
Until I moved to the city and started seeing other stuff going on. But that's how respectful black people used to be. We never treated each other in the way we treat each other today.
How you feel about black people?
What's up, Cal? Thanks for joining in.
When I was growing up, I didn't even know about that word.
Really?
I only heard that word when I moved to the city. No one ever called each other that word. I didn't even hear that word from white people.
Yeah.
So it only became popular when I moved to the city that I started to hear. And when I first started hearing it, I just thought it was a black thing that they did. I didn't know it really was a bad word.
Yeah, well, we used to like call my brother, my sister. That used to be a thing in the black community, but now they can slowly let that go, and now we just a bunch of niggas at each other.
Right, niggas and bitches.
It's unfortunate because it's spiritual and it's evil. The next generation of blacks are going to be worse. They don't have a chance. And then at some point, we all as individuals need to work on ourselves so that we can overcome that fallen state and start so that God can pass love through us so that some generation at some point can start waking up and stop treating each other
like and subscribe.
Way. Because it's evil. It's not good. Our battle is a spiritual battle. And if we don't start being serious about it, and because these people are hurting, man. I counsel with some of these people, and they are miserable inside. You know, and they think if you get money or
so Dark City, he voted for Kamala and Tampon Tim.
They think that it's going to bring happiness.
Timmy,
it doesn't bring it.
Yeah, a lot of blacks want
men.
A lot of blacks want reparations.
Yeah, they want DEI mess.
Yeah.
Reparation and all that mess.
Have you had a conversation with anybody like
you right?
Reparations? Well, how much?
I stay prayed up, man.
Dollar figure yet? I had a couple friends say about 3-4 million. I was like, well, reparations supposed to put you in the same position as everybody else,
right?
If you're going to pay it.
Yeah.
And average person got about maybe $20,000 in their bank account,
right?
On average. Yeah. Why are you getting $4 million? You want to be a king.
I know.
Yeah, they can never give you a dollar figure.
Yeah, but it's just they're going by what their leaders are telling them.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of themselves, this stuff themselves.
Yeah.
They have been told by Maxine Waters, the wicked in the West, Witch of the West, Al Sharpton, and all those guys. They're doing this to these people, and they're really the ones that are getting rich. Al Sharpton fly around in a jet now, a private jet. You know
I see, man. Thank you, 1652. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
All that kind of stuff.
Gives them a job.
Absolutely. When I was raising my son, the time I did have with him, I told him, you got to work for yourself, buddy. You know, you got to be responsible for childhood. That's how I was raised.
One potato, please. Thank you.
And as a result, he became very independent when he got older. And I had to leave home at 18. But I was ready for it. I prepared for that.
Right.
And black people used to do that. They prepared their children, especially boys, to be responsible when you become 18. Something got to be done about this, you know, and it's up to the men, though.
Yeah, like when you was growing up for the civil rights movement, there was no. How often did you see a black family having kids out of wedlock?
It was rare.
Yeah.
If a girl got pregnant out of wedlock, the boys were afraid. We were afraid to make babies out of wedlock because we would have to have a shotgun wedding. We would have to get married. But what happened if a girl did get pregnant, she would have to leave town or go into hiding until she had that baby, right? You'd be like, where's May Children? Well, she's up north. Because it was an embarrassment for black women to get pregnant out of wedlock. It was less than 10% of black babies were born out of wedlock when I was growing up. And if she got pregnant,
like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys.
raise that baby.
I'm always gonna bring good content. Period.
The parents didn't do it. The grandparents, they helped out sometimes, but she would have to drop out of school and everything and raise her baby and do that, so they were less likely to have a baby, right? Or get pregnant out of wedlock.
How about abortions? When did
Unheard of. Even if you had a retarded child, you know, sometimes they would have a big watermelon head baby. You ever seen those big watermelon?
Yeah, I've seen them a couple times.
Yeah, I had a watermelon head baby cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's she? Doing?
They had the baby, and the baby just lived until the baby died. They treated the baby well, but they don't live that long. But they had the baby. They ended up having an abortion. They didn't go, oh, my baby's going to be retarded, so let's kill it in the womb. They had the baby. That's what we were meant to be, and that's what they did. Black people used to be amazing people at one time.
Right.
Really, I'm telling you. And I never imagined that one day it would get to this. It didn't look like that was possible. I didn't understand human nature at the time.
Do you think the problem that black people are having is? Do you think that's systemic? I don't think it's like racism. I think it's the other side. Forcing their hand. I mean, I think that culture's been. I think black people have been conditioned to think this way, and this way that they're being taught is the wrong way.
Yeah. Number one, the sins of the parents are being passed down to generations after generation. That anger, no unity anymore. And then you're right; they're being used by the government. They're being used by their black leaders. They're being used by their so-called counselors, professionals. They're really using black people for personal gain.
Yeah, that's why when they see us, they say we're sellouts.
Right.
We're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Hey,
a
lot of black people live in ghettos. Poverty. A lot of blacks think that the reason why their neighborhoods is all ghettos.
Thank you.
It was fed guns and drugs, and the white man dropped it off there, and that's why they live in ghettos. Yeah. I was like, well, even if that's true, that doesn't mean you have to.
Jesse be on it, man.
Take the guns
he
and
be
shoot
on
your
it.
brother or your sister, or take these drugs.
That's
you
right.
Still have a decision over your own fate. Why is everything got to be the white man's?
I interviewed so many blacks, and they said that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the white man brought the drug into the neighborhood. So I'm like, did they make you take the drug?
Did they make you shoot that dude?
Right. Let's say that they brought it. It's not true, but let's say that the white people brought the drug.
Right.
They didn't tie you down and make you take the drug.
Right.
You had to go buy the drugs. You had to go home and take the drug. And they don't seem to understand that, though.
Yeah. They claim everything bad just happened to black folks because of white folks.
Because of the white man.
Yeah.
That's a sad way to live, right? What a sad way to live. They're blaming everything on the country going while black people chasing them, trying to get it and destroying it.
Destroying what?
Everything they touch.
I'm black. I don't destroy everything I touch.
You may be one black that don't be, but most blacks do.
No, most blacks do what?
Destroy.
Prove that.
Who killed other blacks the most?
Blacks.
Okay.
No.
Who turned nice
No.
Who turned nice neighborhood? I'm giving you the proof.
But who kills other whites the most?
Neighborhood
But that's intellectually dishonest. That's
Like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe.
Bad people.
Who? Now you're changing.
No.
Who turned nice neighborhoods into hoods?
Hood people.
Who are those hood people?
Hoodlums.
I'm giving it again.
It's a skin color, but what's the heck there? Which people are those?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I remember when I first moved to LA, I lived in South Central LA, and over there in Crenshaw and Slauson area. And it was beautiful. There were mostly white people on my street that I lived on. The whole area was nice. Crenshaw High School, Manuel, really nice. And then the white people started to move out because the black were moving in. And
they said it's white flight.
Right, that's what they call it. And then turned into a ghetto overnight.
Right.
Really, it's just everything changing. Yeah, the people didn't cut their grass. They didn't paint their homes. Crime came in. I saw that happen myself. I had never seen anything like that.
Right.
And then
I already
remember
said that
going to
already, that I'm
Houston,
streaming a
Texas
2-day
once, and
old
they were
post.
talking. And they took me on a little tour.
Thanks for joining
And they
in.
took me to a black neighborhood that used to be white and
Black
beautiful at one time.
black fatigue is
And
it's real.
black people just sitting on the porch.
How you feel about it?
My mama used to do that. Go outside, just sit on the porch.
The neighborhood falling apart.
Yeah.
And they were sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember being a little kid, Mama said, "Come on, Keith, Kevin, let's go sit
Wayne
on the
Long, how
porch."
you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not painting the house. They're not cleaning the yard. The neighborhood, I'm like, why don't they get out there and do something? Another place with Gary, Indiana. I saw Gary, Indiana fall apart too. When I first moved
Thank you. That's
here,
all I'm doing, is educating people and myself.
Number white
it
people.
was safe.
I'm not trying to sway nobody's opinion or thoughts. Just sharing.
It was
Here to
nice
learn,
home.
here to help out
And,
if I
and a
can.
lot of the people from the South had moved to Gary. And because they were raised differently, they bought homes and they taught their children, right? My mother and my stepfather had 9 of us. So I had like 7 sisters and 5 brothers, something like that.
Yeah.
And my mother never had to work. My stepfather took care of her.
Appreciate you guys,
Home,
man.
she would go
Thank you,
grocery
thank you.
shopping, she would keep the house going, and everything was fine. And then they elected the first black mayor in
Thank you, Sir
Gary,
Donald.
Indiana. And the very next day, really not a week later, they had the election.
I was watching them way before COVID,
And I was
and they was
going to
much
Edison
smaller
High
and
School.
younger. Talking about
And
dating and workout
Very
tips.
next day, all hell broke loose.
Hit that like and subscribe
I'm
button
like,
for
what
me.
the?
Thank you,
The
1652.
black people were
Appreciate it.
fighting on the school bus.
Right.
They were fighting in the hallway. They were attacking white people. They were fighting with them, and the place turned. And the white people left. Right, the place turned into a ghetto overnight.
Yeah.
And I was a witness to that.
Right.
And I had a white friend because I was afraid of the blacks. I wasn't accustomed to violence.
Yes, sir. Salute.
You scared of the black?
I was scared of the blacks
Right.
because I
Salute to
didn't grow
you,
up
to you guys. Thank you.
around violent black people, so I
Right.
didn't know yet. I didn't understand.
Right.
I was like the white people. I was scared of them. So I had a white friend, and his family lived right across from Edison High School.
Mhm.
They moved away in the middle of the night. I didn't even get a chance to tell my friend bye.
Oh, you're
White
definitely
people,
MAGA, man.
They left because the children were getting beat up,
Yeah.
crying with everything. The mayor's name was Richard
Ultra
Hatchett
MAGA.
or something like that.
But you know what, Jesse? Democrats and people on the left, they like to paint this picture. The reason why these whites are leaving is because they're racist.
No,
No, they're moving out because
they're scared.
they're scared.
Really, they are.
Right.
They are
Property
afraid.
values is going down.
Yeah,
Thank you, thank you.
absolutely. Value goes down. And Gary,
Let's get that
Indiana used to be a
1,000
beautiful
subscribers.
town. And
Let's
I'm
get
telling
it.
you, downtown was amazing. You could go to the theater, you walk around and never been afraid of anything. That changed. And now they have homes empty, just lands, acres and acres of empty apartments and homes.
Yeah, what you're describing is what actually is going on in Chicago right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that place is going to fall hard one day. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Unless a change comes, it really will. So what can we do about it?
Chicago got to stop voting blue. That's their problem.
I mean, look what happened in Detroit.
They
Detroit
keep
used to
voting
be,
blue.
A great area.
Yeah,
Look at
it
Detroit.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have family members or friends and family members who moved to Detroit from Alabama,
Mhm.
went to Detroit with booming, and they loved Detroit. And then Detroit changed and they moved back to Alabama.
Yeah.
Because we didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
How you doing, Horseman? Thanks for joining in.
Right.
We
Yeah.
we didn't grow up in violence and killing
Right.
each other and worried about walking down the road.
How you doing, people from
We used to
Australia?
leave home.
Deontay from Chicago, not living in Rockford.
We would close the door but not lock the door.
It's much conservative where I'm
And the
at.
family leave.
You
And
got to lock them doors, not just.
yeah, you got lock. You got double locks.
Yeah.
Security.
Our
alarm.
people's going to come in and take something.
Yeah. So y'all married to Mexicans?
I tried a black woman. I said, nope, never again.
Really?
Yeah, them leftists, man. They watching TV and go out there and go
Put
nuts.
your hands up, let's do this.
What black?
Was a black woman. I said,
Yeah, I don't blame.
Other races of women are just way more feminine. It's
Yeah,
like I'm always
yeah.
in competition with a black woman. Like women like want to please you. Yeah, they want to make you happy.
As us conservatives, we gotta go out there and vote these crazy people out of there. These protesters, they go out there in droves, man. They go out there and protest, and these are actually voters too. We gotta outvote them. They out there going crazy. We gotta outvote them. I'm telling you guys, as conservatives, we gotta outvote these crazy people. Vote back common sense and keep it that way. After Trump leave, we still gotta keep voting. America first. Period. Like and subscribe. 1,000 subscribers. Let's get it. Love you guys. Happy New Year's.
Happy. It's like nowadays, like a lot of black women, they're like, "What are you gonna do for me?" It's all about them.
But it was like that during the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
Black women wanted to please their man, their husband, their boyfriend, their everything. It changed, man.
Yeah,
And I was a witness to the change.
Yeah, I think I don't know, like the black family structure's been destroyed.
No problem. Thank you.
Destroy that.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
think
you,
you can
Willie.
bring it back. I mean, there's gonna be some black families out there that that do the right thing and their kids are gonna be successful, but they're gonna be in the minority. I don't think the problem is hurting the black community. I don't think you can fix that. Not unless the Democrats and civil leaders change their mindset and tell us the actual truth. Yeah, Democrats are not gonna let that happen. They're gonna keep them where they can be dependent on them. I think.
Look how they fighting Donald Trump right now. Donald Trump is trying to make a smaller government so that people become.
Thank
more
you guys. Thank you
independent.
guys.
They
Appreciate
don't want
it.
that.
They don't want that.
They're fighting
Hit
him
that like,
night
hit
and
that
day
subscribe.
You know what?
because they don't want that.
Yeah, during this last election, 96% of black women voted for Kamala.
Yeah.
That just shows you just how lost
Yeah.
the black woman, the black community, because the black woman runs the black community now. Yeah, and women run the Democratic Party. Look how wicked they've become. Yeah,
No.
Got
Right, Tony.
men
Period.
and women's sports and got men and women's bathroom.
Yeah.
Only reason why that is because of wickedness of women. Yeah, this is very evil people.
Yeah, they help come through the woman. That's why my country is never going to get better, because they'll put women in leadership all over the place, everywhere.
Yeah.
Rarely do you see a man leading now.
Yeah.
It's mostly women, doctors, commercials.
Yeah, we are
government,
together, but more
everything.
with common
And
sense.
God did not create the woman to lead. He created the woman to follow. And nothing else is going to work but the man lead and the women follow. That's one of the things I disagree with the Great White Hope about. You know the Great White Hope.
Donald Trump.
All the way. I disagree that he's putting women in leadership position.
Yeah. That a woman almost got
Yeah.
killed.
Pam Bundy,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's very lucky to be alive right now.
I don't think he should do that. He has a woman in charge of the borders.
Right.
She's something. I forgot what it is. Attorney General.
Yeah.
And
Bundy. Yeah.
right, and then she got all these men around her. I'm like, that doesn't look right.
Do you think a woman could doing that because that's how a Republican
Tony.
win
Okay.
elections going
I
forward?
thought that too.
Yeah.
I said, I bet you it's because of election.
Yeah. Because it looks like we're misogynistic. No woman's going to vote for a Republican, even if the Republican is right.
Yeah.
So they have to what's the word? You have to compromise. Yeah. Do you think a conservative woman could be a good leader if she's a conservative Christian woman?
No.
Not built for it.
No, it's not in her.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm.
And
No, it's not
she
live.
will try,
It's
but
old.
she's gonna be stressed out.
Yeah.
You say the wrong thing to her at the wrong time,
Goes
it's
against the
gonna be
nature.
hell. Yeah. You're trying to make her be something that's not in her nature.
Right.
No matter whether she's conservative or Democrat or independent, whatever they want to call them. Call themselves. Can you imagine yourself being married to a woman that call herself a CEO?
Duh.
I don't know, but she gonna be wearing pants now. But she gonna make sure you know she's
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah, CEO.
2430,
It
thank
scares
you,
me
man.
every time when I get put on by a cop, I just like,
Yeah.
hope it's a white man. I hope it's not a white woman. And man, I'm gonna pray to God. It's not
Trump.
a
Yep,
black
Trump
woman.
Nation. Yes, sir.
Because women like to overcompensate.
MAGA.
It's like they got a chip on the shoulder.
I remember once years ago, I got
Like and
pulled over
subscribe. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers
white
if
guy
possible. Love you
and a
guys.
white woman
Joining my channel. I
And
really
the woman had the
appreciate
gun
it.
on
Thank
it.
you.
on
Right.
the old guy. Oh,
She
Lord.
pulled a gun on
I'm
you.
like, oh, Lord, not George, Lord.
Yeah,
I was nervous because I know how emotional women are. I didn't know if she gonna trip out.
Yeah.
And I was so glad when they asked for my license. Here you go.
Yeah.
I have no tickets, and they let me go. Right.
Yeah.
But I was nervous that woman was holding a gun on me.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
That was a scary time
Yeah.
because women are too emotional.
Thank you.
Yeah, got a show for y'all. Got a damn good show. When I hear some people talk up.
This is a neighborhood I've lived in for like 15 years. I currently live in a different part of South Minneapolis, but Powderhorn's a place that's near and dear to my heart. I got a lot of friends that live in this neighborhood, and I just wanted to make sure they were okay. So this is my prep period.
This is Barry
so I asked my
Cunningham.
principal if I could head out and make sure that my people were okay, and she said I could. And so I just wanted to make sure that the people that I care about are okay.
So I kind of overheard you saying something about the students. How are your students handling what's going on right now?
Oh, our attendance rates have have totally decreased with our Latino students
Oh,
and even with
man.
some of our Somali
That is
students.
true.
Like a lot of our students are not coming to school. We just had to make new changes with what we're going to do for parent-teacher conferences because we're worried the parents won't come. Because why would you come to parent-teacher conferences if you're worried you're going to get picked up by ICE? And I just think that's criminal.
Right,
Because,
she sure do, Jay.
We need to have conversations with parents about their kids to help them graduate, and I can't teach kids if they aren't here. It's like that's a whole part of my job. And so I just feel like really frustrated because we finally got kids' attendance back up since COVID. And now all this ICE rating is actually ruining the attendance rates. We finally got back up again. And so it's really making it hard to do our jobs and to teach people. And so I'm just really frustrated because, teaching people and getting people an education is supposed to be something that's a right, and it's not making it a right.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi, my name is Isa Obradovic, and on Tuesday, January 13th at around 11 in the morning, I was escorted out of my middle school art student teaching placement. I have a script that I'm going to be reading from because I want to be very careful with my words. On Tuesday, January 13th at around 11 in the morning, I was escorted out of my middle school art student teaching placement.
What
The district received several complaints from concerned parents about the video I posted the day before. In the video, I spoke about turning down a sponsorship from Wayfair as they sell beds to, quote, a government contractor furnishing a federal detention center for migrants near the U.S.-Mexico border, end quote. In this video, I said, fuck ICE, and at the end of the video, I put up my middle finger while saying that I believe that ICE agents should kill. I could certainly have chosen my words better and avoided using vulgar language and gestures, but my stance remains firm. I stand on the side of humanity and will not endorse any institution who supports ICE. I have chosen to keep the video visible on my page. My values and actions are always rooted in a deep love for humanity, including love for my own community members as a first-generation child of French and Peruvian immigrants. Members of my community are actively being killed and kidnapped en masse by ICE, a rogue paramilitary force that answers to the child.
So that's what they call a deceptive ring.
Currently president of
Green
the
here.
States.
You know
I
she
stand for my
toxic.
message, even if my choice of verbiage could have been more tactful. For full transparency, I've posted the email I sent to the district yesterday following my termination. Thankfully, I have the privilege of not needing to student teach in order to graduate. I've chosen to not pursue another student teaching placement since I figured similar issues would arise considering the size of my audience on social media. I don't want to comprise neither my values nor those of any school district. I will graduate without licensure, which I was not planning on applying for anyways because I don't intend to teach in the United States for the foreseeable future. I have the full support of my professors, which I'm so
Definitely
grateful for.
delusional.
Since around January of last year, I have been making arrangements to move to France after I graduate in May 2026. I'm a dual citizen and have been speaking French since before I even learned to speak English. I'm going to be fine. I plan to work as an artist for at least a year before continuing on to grad school. Also, I have
Wow,
enough
everything in
credits to
her
have
house
graduated last
is
semester
rainbow.
because I've just taken so many classes for fun because I
Rainbow.
love school and learning.
Rainbow,
I'm very
rainbow,
lucky that my
rainbow. What
circumstances have
the?
made it so that this situation has no real material repercussions for me. Of course, I am really disappointed that I won't get to student teach. This is something that I've been working towards for the entire time that I've been studying art education as an undergraduate. I really did give it my all in the 5.5 days that I had in the classroom. I had an absolute blast, and this experience has affirmed that I
Right,
do want to
Poison
teach
Ivy.
art and that this is the path for me. It's just really unfortunate that this is how the experience came to an end.
LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
I was also surprised that these U-turn signs were still up. And at first, they seem a little, okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
It's Saturday, okay? It's Saturday. And with what we're going to talk about with some seriousness, I figured we'd do our comedic relief in advance because I just can't. I can't. We cannot coexist with these people. There's no way possible. If it's not a civil war,
Once again, you see that green-haired woman? She's a voter. We gotta get out there and vote, y'all. For real.
It's a secession. It's got to be something because there's no way I can exist with these people. I can't even walk down the same aisle in a grocery store. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But yet, this is what the Democrats want. This is what they are fighting for. They are fighting to uphold the entirety of a brainwashed, propagandized MK Ultra generation. The first person, they're not coming to school because they're afraid they might get picked up. You're a teacher. Can you do some deduction why that might be happening? Let's see. My Spanish kids and my Somali kids, their parents don't want to come to school because they'd have to bring them, but they're afraid of showing up because they might get picked up. You went to college, go ahead and deduce why that might be. It's pretty simple. 1 + 1 = 2. This guy and this guy are afraid of getting picked up by ICE. They're probably not supposed to be here.
Yes, your cousin Barry, that's what's up.
I can't even explain. She wouldn't order from Wayfair because the government buys sheep
Right,
from
Wayne.
Wayfair.
We don't need none of that trash.
Let me just say, you've got way too much time on your hands. You are not qualified to be a teacher. If you are taking the time to find out where the government buys sheets, I would have never thought, nor would I have ever cared that, okay, so where are the government contracts for the, where they're buying sheets for the detainment centers? Oh, Wayfair, you're done. But then you guys might say, well, Barry, you guys target because they were selling, stuff for kids to hang their junk in and tuck and all that kind of stuff, which they don't want me to say here. You can not patronize any business you want. That's fine. The Target thing was all over the news. I don't even know where you would look to find out where the government buys sheets. These people are crazy. Then the last one, they don't want to change it to U-turn sign because it was targeting people who actually cruise. I guess what I'm trying to say before we actually start the show is we're in cuckoo land. With what we're seeing in Minnesota, and you'll see on my thumbnail or lower thirds here, this is it. I didn't know we would meet this point in the road so early in 2026. But at this point, make no doubt about it, we are at the inflection point where the Democrats have decided this is it. This is their Waterloo. They are pushing all their chips in. There's nothing left in 2026 that they're going to fight. We might as well get it out of the way right now. Which means you should probably
make America straight again,
right now and realize we are in a civil war. I realized with a little bit of penchant thought why it is YouTube has this rule of not showing what's really happening out there. Oh, we can't show that kind of stuff because they don't want you to know. that allows the Democrats to go on stage and lie. They're just peaceful protests.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, these people are just exercising their First Amendment rights. And if you haven't seen it, you don't know it's a lie. And so what's the easiest way to have to perpetuate the lie is to not allow people to show it.
Tony.
And that's what X did before when it was called Twitter. That's what YouTube did for a long time. They just simply don't let you show it. And if you don't show it, then they don't know it. But understand, there are things happening in Minneapolis right now that are the bad guys are now carrying guns. Put it that way. That's where we are. The bad guys are now showing up with weapons against ICE. No, nobody's, from what I understand, has fired a shot yet, but they most assuredly are firing.
That's what's up, man.
Bringing weapons and brandishing them. This isn't going to end well. This is not going to end well. And the worst part about it, I believe the Democrats know it's not going to end well, and they're sacrificing these idiots. One kid lost his eye. The woman who got shot because she tried to run somebody over. None of this needs to happen.
Right. None of these politicians out there with the protesters telling ICE to stop what they're doing. None of these politicians. And that's crazy. Straight send these people straight off.
Tim Walton, and I'm pointing to his picture, Tim Walton, Jacob Fry could walk out today and say it's over. Guys, just go home. We're going to work it out with the government. But their silence speaks volume. But it's not really silent. We're going to show you what they said. But by not telling the protesters to do that, they want this. They want the escalation. They think it benefits them by getting into a fight with Trump. Even if people lose lives, eyes, etc. Right now, if I was a lawyer, I'd be sitting there going, that guy needs to sue not the ICE agents, but instead the government and the people in Minnesota. Why are you encouraging protests? What exactly is a protest?
Like and subscribe.
Every single Democrat says we need to encourage protests. You need to take to the streets. What exactly is a protest? Have you looked up the First Amendment?
You said, Eric, they ran on the chaos?
Well, we know
chaos already kicking off already. Every day at somebody's facility, another ICE facility, over here and over there. Chaos.
Everything that they admonish.
I mean, protest, but you know what I'm saying? If you're going to protest, have your sign, but they come with gas masks, batons, all type of bullshit. They ready for bullshit, rocks. Somebody paying these people.
They encourage, and it's not going to stop. So I'm gonna show you some things regarding Tim Walton, Jacob Fry, and then we're gonna carry some news. We got a whole lot of stuff to cover in a short period of time because it's playoff Saturday in the NFL. Want to see who wins tonight? No spoilers. I have it recording, so just don't go in the chat and start talking like that stuff. Let's see, what am I going to do? Before we start the show, here's our sponsor tonight.
Thank you, man. Right, you see they blocking them,
genius. America
doxing them, following
the country
them.
That started the
people crazy.
AI race, and as president of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
Why do so many financial experts call silver the most undervalued asset today? Because silver is essential to
How you doing, Deborah?
From solar tech and electric vehicles to the explosive.
So, Deborah, you voted for Tampon Timmy?
Intelligence. Demand is rising fast, and yet silver is still trading at a bargain. With billions pouring into AI, silver prices have only one place to go, and that's up. In fact, silver may be the most overlooked asset class in financial planning. The opportunity for silver is well documented. The market for silver could double or even triple by 2026. You see, I believe in hard assets like this. Felt I'd have to remind you a little bit about that in case that wasn't prevalent in your mind with all the craziness that's going on. That's a long one. Let me go to the shorter one first before I get to the long one. Then he posted this at 11:13. A front page article in the fake news
To do
Wall
double,
Street
right?
Journal
Let's go
states
Trump,
without any
baby.
verification that they offered Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase to be the Fed chairman. This statement is totally untrue. There was never such an offer, and in
Like
fact,
and
I'll
subscribe.
be suing JP Morgan Chase over the next 2 weeks for incorrectly and inappropriately debanking me after the January 6th protest, a protest that turned out to be correct for those who were protesting. The election was rigged. Why wouldn't the Wall Street Journal call me to ask whether or not it was made? I would have very quickly told them no, and that would have been the end of the story. Also, one was led to believe that I offered Jamie Dimon the job of Secretary of the Treasury, but that would be one that he would be very interested in. The problem is I have Scott Bessent doing a fantastic job, a superstar. Why would I give it to Jamie Dimon? No such offer was made there or even thought of. The Wall Street Journal ought to do better fact-checking, or its already strained credibility will continue to die. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There's a conversation taking place way above our heads and in circles that we're not in. JP Morgan is in big trouble in the silver market. Without being too involved in it, let me just tell you, they have a short position where financially they may not recover. Unless, of course, the Federal Reserve bails them out, which may be why Powell is trying to stay in as long as possible and try to shift money around. Because once Trump gets his guy in there, these banks are screwed. I mean, absolutely screwed. You may see some very, very large banks, boom, go out of business. If you want to check, go look up JP Morgan silver short status, things of that nature. JP Morgan, how short are they in the market? And when you find out how short they are and that they're trying to dump all this paper stuff and trying to acquire metals, but they can't get the metals. And so there's a lot of manipulation going on in that market. Follow that closely, very closely. And this one is incredibly long, but it's worth spending some time on. President Trump dropped this one. We have subsidized Denmark and all of the countries of the European
Deborah, now
Union
you know
and others for many
that
years
Kamala
by
had
not
$1
charging
billion
them
campaign,
tariffs or
and
any
now
other
she's $20 million in debt.
Remuneration.
And tampon
Basically,
Timmy,
they've been our kids. We've been giving
$9
them
billion.
money, and they haven't given
Come
us
on.
anything back. Well, for kids,
Come on, Deborah.
we don't expect anything back. They're our kids. But these are sovereign nations. They should be standing on their own. They shouldn't be relying on America to prop them up. He's letting you know that. Now, after centuries, it's time for Denmark to give back. World peace is at stake. China and Russia want Greenland. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it. So
how you
basically,
doing?
he's
Thanks for
saying
joining
there,
in.
you're going to lose. It's just a matter of who you're going to lose to. We're going to take it, or China and Russia are going to take it. That's it. Those are your only options. You are not going to survive as an individual country. Go ahead and run around the streets in Denmark. Have all your protests.
Thank you.
Do everything you want to get these nuts out on the
Hit
street.
that like, subscribe. Thank
But
you, guys.
very soon, it ain't going to matter. He's talking turkey to these people right now. Where was I? They currently have 2 dog sleds as protection. He mentioned that in a meeting the other day. They have 2 dog sleds as protection. They recently added one. Only the United States of America under Donald Trump can play in this game, and very successfully at that. Nobody will touch this sacred piece of land, especially since the national security of the United States and the world at large is at stake. On top of everything else, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland have journeyed to Greenland for purposes unknown. Well, we know what the purpose is. They're losing hold. They're trying to find that one piece in the Western Hemisphere that they can still cling to. Trump knows this. You know this. This is a very dangerous situation for the safety, security, and survival of our planet. These countries who are playing this very dangerous game have put a level of risk in play that is not tenable or sustainable. Therefore, It is imperative, in order to protect the global peace and security, strong measures be taken so this potentially perilous situation ends quickly and without question. Starting, and this is where it gets really tough, and this is where that SCOTUS ruling is going to be so important. Starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, and he lists all the countries again, will each be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. If you want some champagne
Joey
or some
Maga,
cheese,
Joey,
you might want to go ahead and order
like
it
and
now.
subscribe.
Today is just January
Ultra
17th,
Maga.
and on February 1st, those things, the cars, everything is going to go up. All of it. Notice what country's not in there. Well, I don't see.
Oh yeah, definitely
Italy.
MAGA, you guys.
Very
Definitely
interesting.
MAGA. Like
Very
and subscribe.
interesting to me, at least. On June 1st, the tariff will then be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. So everybody out there screaming about Trump's never going to get Greenland. You're not involved in running Greenland, and you're not involved in the export business of all these countries. If you think Trump's not going to get Greenland, tell me how these countries are going to afford.
Yeah, I know, man.
To pay a 25% tariff.
Cash Patel and Bondi, especially Pam Bondi. Yeah, she got to go.
Emotions are taking over sensibilities. Because when you look at it, you cannot just sustain a 25% tariff. Will people pay 25% more for champagne? Maybe. People who buy champagne might just say, heck with it, I'll just buy it. French wine, all that kind of stuff. But you have to pay. The United States has been trying to do this transaction for over 150 years.
Oh,
Many
yeah, Barry, be on it.
tried for good reason. But Denmark has always refused. Now because of the Golden Dome and modern day weapon systems, both offensive and defensive. I love that he put that in there. Offensive as well, meaning we're not just going to sit back and take it. Those were other presidents. We are now offensive. We are now the Department of War, not the Department of Defense. The need to acquire is especially important. Hundreds of billions of dollars are currently being spent on security programs having to do with the dome, including for the possible protection of Canada. And this is very brilliant, but highly complex systems can only work at the maximum potential and efficiency because of angles, meets, and bounds if this land is included in it. The United States of America is immediately open to negotiations with Denmark.
How you doing, Kev?
And any of these countries that have been put in so much risk, despite all that we have done for them, including maximum protection over so many decades. Thank you for attention. So he puts up 3 posts today. One, obviously, about Denmark and Greenland and a bunch of European countries, and slapping them right down. The other one he put up, as I showed you, was about the Wall Street Journal and J.P. Morgan and Chase Bank that might be in big trouble, all these banks together. And then the first one was about the auto pay. And so when you read that, and as you saw those things, what was it included? What was there no post about? I got to get the Jeopardy music thing out here.
Fort Lauderdale, what up?
There was no post about Minneapolis. With everything you're seeing on television and all the posts you're seeing on X, where all kinds of hell is breaking loose, the one thing that everybody's been talking about is the Insurrection Act and doing something about this craziness in Minneapolis. And the President of the United States didn't say a word. To me, I'd be butt-puckering if I was the people in Minneapolis, because the fact that he's not acknowledging anything means they're probably already making plans to go in, which means that he's running basically a head fake so he can do a no-look pass. Go ahead and read all this stuff, and you'll never see this.
Hey, Henry, sit back and just listen. Join the chat.
I would almost venture to say Tomorrow he has nothing on his schedule. He's going to go to the national
Like and subscribe.
championship in football on Monday. And so he's going to be down here for an extended period of time. And if I was in Minneapolis, seeing that the president, is he not talking about us here in Minneapolis? Is there nothing? No. Be afraid. Like Ray Liotta said in Goodfellas, if it was, I wasn't worried because they were cops, because if it was mobsters, I'd have never seen them coming. And right now, I'm pretty sure they're never going to see it coming in Minneapolis. He's not telegraphing his moves. He's not talking about it. And these guys are all running around the street acting crazy and carrying guns now. And there's no way he's sitting back going, it looks like fun. Let him have some. No, it's coming. Yesterday was the first salvo, which we're going to get into right now because it's most assuredly coming. That's my take on it. All right, let's get into this.
Order would be restored, and I will make this prediction, if those federal agents left. As soon as they leave, we will have peace, we will have safety, and order will be restored.
Understand what he said right there, which is partly going to get both him and Waltz in trouble.
Yep.
He just announced to the world a condition. There will only be peace if you guys leave. In other words, you're saying you could control the situation, you could make it peaceful, but you're not until they leave. How could you guarantee peace when they leave? If you can't guarantee peace right now. You see, you stepped in it. You just admitted to the world, hey, when they're gone, it'll be peaceful. Like you control something.
Period, Dave. Thanks for joining in. That's right, MAGA. Ultra MAGA.
How can he do that? How can he guarantee if once they leave, everything will be peaceful? Why would you even guarantee that? Interesting, huh, Jacob?
Thus far in 2026, last I checked, we had only had 4 shootings.
Oh, Marty, thanks for joining in.
ICE. An entire city of 435,000 people, 4 shootings, and 2 of them were ICE.
Have a brother out with the likes and subscribe.
The practices that ICE is using is unconstitutional. They are not methodical. They are not well planned out. They have taken people out of their cars to detain them on major streets.
All right, so everything he said there, I could imagine myself sitting on a grand jury. And he's like, they've been taking people out on the streets that aren't, newcomers. How do you know that? Can you name them? How many of them? What was their disposition? What happened to these people? Why were they taken, supposedly? How is it unconstitutional? You see, this is a guy who's a politician. He's the mayor of a city. He's sitting on some sort of panel next to Keith Ellison, the attorney general of the state, and he's spewing stuff, knowing full well everything he's saying is false. So by saying all this stuff false and then saying you basically have the control for safety, you are letting the world know, including people sitting on a grand jury somewhere, that you are intentionally letting it happen.
The car running, not in park. Car rolls down the streets.
Crazy.
You don't need to be a genius to figure out that that is not safe. We've had small children that have been damaged by the inhalation of some form of gas.
Whose fault is that? Oh, I know. The idiots that are bringing their kids like human sacrifices to a protest. You just admitted that you are such a bad city that some of the nuts and green hairs and blue hairs with nose rings are oh my God, they bred, first of all. That's the first thing we have to think, like, oh my God, they had kids? These people spawned? And they're such stupid, bad parents, they brought their kids to a protest. Where's child services? Minneapolis police, are you seeing people bring kids to a protest and you're completely ignoring the child's safety? That's negligence. You're admitting it right there. I could probably try this. This This is simple. Hey, they're allowing people to bring their kids to a protest that they know could be violent. Who does that? Who brings their kids to a protest?
We've had loose dogs that were left unattended in the streets after ICE arrested and drove away with its owner. This is not making Minneapolis safer. This is not about safety.
Going door to door, ordering people to point out where
tampon.
All right. This is the Tim Walz speech. And this one, let's just stop every time and go, lie. That's the first one. They're going door to door and they're saying, point out where the black people are. Yeah, no.
They're pulling over people indiscriminately.
This entire video is a complete deposition. So, Governor Walz, are people being pulled over indiscriminately? How would you define indiscriminately? They told me to read this stuff.
Including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools. They're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street.
What's up, Rocket?
I think these guys got so wrapped up in this. I think they were controlled by a puppet master that it looks like a hostage video, but I don't think he realized what he was saying. They're dragging pregnant women down the street.
Wow.
Okay.
Just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans. Kidnapping innocent people with no...
There's the big one.
Kidnap.
That one right there is going to get this guy, or should get this guy, handcuffs. You just said they are kidnapping people on national television. Oh, by the way,
that's the talking points since they started.
Too late. I guess you didn't run it by your attorneys. I guess you didn't talk to an attorney and say, did you just say they're kidnapping people and you published this? Yeah. Dude, you can't say that. You cannot say someone is kidnapping somebody. But he did.
Warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against...
It's going to seem like I'm stopping a lot because I want you to hear every single lie.
Like and subscribe.
Turn out to be every single count against him. It's not about immigration. It's about organized brutality. So you're saying it's a criminal enterprise. A criminal enterprise hatched by Trump, being affected by Tom Homan and Kristi Noem to just do all kinds of brutality.
The people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation,
she should have been at home with her kids.
Hold accountable.
Or her son. Either way, she should have been at home.
You can't. See, that's just it. They want to be able to...
Yeah, she shouldn't have been in charge at all.
This person who's got federal immunity.
Get rid of Bundy.
So no, you're not involved, and you're implying that there's a murder.
Yeah, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family.
Right, unknown.
Another lie. I don't understand. I couldn't say this in a corporate meeting. You could potentially be sued if you made this kind of statement on social media. This is the governor of a state. And he's spewing so much BS. I mean, it's literally every single line. Whoever wrote this for him was an activist, and they didn't run it through legal.
Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution.
All right, so I'm going to stop there because he has no idea why they quit. And one thing he didn't mention, he could have just put a period and said, instead, they've added 6 military law enforcement officers, legal officers from, the military. Now it should be starting to make sense to you. Why did President Trump and I guess Pete Hegseth, why did they put military lawyers into Minneapolis to replace these 6 guys who were women who are no longer there. You find it odd that they just all quit, just all say, oh, we're not going to stand for this. And there just happened to be 6 military attorneys ready to step in. Maybe that's what got this guy's pants soiled.
But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming.
All right, so I find myself to be a wordsmith, and you guys can easily look up the definition of those words. You can see what retribution means. You can see what reckoning is. I mean, we could probably do it right now. Let me see what the word. How do they define so I can share it all with you guys? Reckoning. Let's see here. It says judgment. A reckoning is a judgment, whether it's down here or up there. The reckoning is going to solve everything. The judgment. They make it sound like it's a bad word. It's a day of reckoning and retribution. Reckoning. Day of judgment. I think idiots running around with blue hair, even though some of them are teachers, don't understand what that means. Let's look at retribution. I've done this. I don't have it saved. Retribution, severe punishment. How are any of those 2 things bad? Reckoning, judgment, retribution, punishment. For me, those 2 things go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Well, I guess you could have punishment, meted out without having the judgment, but what he just told you was actually legal. We're going to judge you, and then we're going to punish you. Sort of like what your mom did. Did you do that? Pop. There, the reckoning, and then came the retribution. That's not bad. In fact, one of the things that bothered me about him saying this is that the people who are liberals look at reckoning and retribution as bad things. They are never chastised for their actions. They never have to have any personal accountability. When you don't have any personal accountability, the words reckoning and retribution sound terrible to you because you probably haven't had any of that since you were a little kid. That's why they're all running around the street doing stupid stuff. They haven't ever, probably in a long time, faced reckoning, judgment, and retribution, punishment. Most of you, and I know I've faced much reckoning, and I've also felt much retribution.
Thank you.
And I'm better for it.
Trying to get to 1,000 or more. Thank you.
Because I learned of the reckoning and the following retribution. I'm pretty sure each one of you can say, yeah, I got reckoned, and then I got retribution. Because that's how life is. It's not a bad thing. Why are they focusing on those 2 words? That's what you guys have to realize. I'm going to show you something with Ilhan Omar, and she says it too. It keeps talking about a reckoning and a retribution. Yeah. You have to be judged and punished. Why is that bad? Because they don't want people having any accountability whatsoever.
That's a direct threat against the people of this state who dared to vote against him 3 times and who continue to stand up for freedom with...
I'll tell you what, I'd rather have reckoning and retribution here than up there, or where some of these people may be going. Maybe you get the reckoning and retribution here, and you realize you don't need to be standing up against the government. You're telling people they want to do a reckoning and give you retribution for standing up to the government.
Courage and empathy and profound grace. All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted.
All right, there's another lie. So if so-and-so person has a warrant, number 1, or so-and-so person is supposed to be here, number 2. Maybe they're hanging out in a house somewhere that trace de leches. That's number 3. Maybe there's Somalians committing all kinds of fraud. gazillion dollars in fraud. No reason. No retribution here.
They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing so has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution.
Wait a minute. I thought retribution was a bad thing. So now you're saying that because they're protesting, they've been targeted for retribution. No, they have received a little bit of retribution, maybe a pepper ball to the face because they've touched the cop. Oh, they've crossed over that, that line, that moat of peaceful protesting. I would love to get this guy in a deposition and say, can you define peaceful protesting? I'm not going to ask you the hard question. I won't ask you if men can get pregnant. I know that's a real hard one. Your IQ might not reach there, but can you at least define a peaceful protest? Because, damn, I can't see them. I don't know what it is. You guys keep saying it, and I keep seeing them beat up people. There's video today. The guy got beat up, chased him around. He has every right to stand on that Minnesota street as any one of those protesters, but the peaceful protesters beat him up. There are videos of the mob going into restaurants because they're accosting
Hey, I know.
people
I live
who
in Chicago
look
too. I've been in Rockford now for 2 years now.
who look like they
And
might
living
be
in Rockford is
ISIS.
much conservative
There are
compared to
videos
Chicago.
of people walking down the street and telling people,
Much peace.
You need to say F ICE. I don't want to say F ICE. Well, then you're one of them. That's not peaceful. And it's all recorded.
Folks, I know it's scary. And I know it's absurd that we all have to be defending law and order, justice, and humanity while also caring for our families and trying to do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation.
You are telling the federal government not to enforce federal law. What basis do you have that? Because you didn't say, I'm asking. You said, I'm telling them.
You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets.
I didn't pick up on all this the first time I watched it, mainly because most of it, you couldn't even hear everything. But I'm thinking to myself now as I was getting ready today, I'm like, man, you literally stepped in it, bro. I mean, you got no way to extricate
where I live at,
yourself from charges.
It's cool.
We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully.
I think they left off that part. Maybe that was when it got garbled in your video. Urgently, loudly, but be peaceful. I don't think they're following that. And as of 6 o'clock when I went on, I did not see either you or the mayor or even the chief of police going out into the street and say, hey, listen, you guys got the first 2 down. You are really good with urgently, and you're extremely good with loudly, but you're having a problem with the peaceful stuff.
Thank you, guys.
You can continue in 1 and 2. You got that good.
Like and subscribe.
3, you're going to have to work on the whole peaceful thing. You have to take it down. Stop doing what you're doing. How's it going to work? Number 1, you'd never see him say that. But number 2, they ain't ever going to listen to him.
Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry. I'm angry.
Okay.
Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful. Second, you are not powerless. You are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Thousands upon thousands of our fellow Minnesotans are going to be relying on mutual aid in the days and weeks to come.
What's that even mean? What? You just talked about a peaceful protest, but you said thousands upon thousands of Minnesotans are going to need aid. What kind of aid? You can just go home. You're hungry, go eat. What are you guys planning to tell me that thousands and thousands of Minnesotans are going to need aid? Explain that. You're out here supposedly carrying a picket sign, walking around, I hate ICE, F ICE, whatever. Yeah, I gotcha. What aid do you need? And what are you planning, to provide this so-called aid to people?
And they need our support. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities.
We know that.
That's where you're going to be screwed. Because now you've just commissioned a whole lot of witnesses, as you said, and a whole lot of evidence.
Yes, he is.
See, I'm pretty sure the ICE agents have been told, you're on camera. Everything you do is going to be filmed. They're going to try and make it seem like, you're doing something bad. They're taking pictures at funny angles. You're assuming that everything that you're doing is going to be edited so that you can show that ICE is doing bad things.
Right.
But here's the thing I came up with that I'm pretty sure Tim Walsh.
And that's the real January 6th. That's what they doing.
You have to wonder how many
insurrection,
people are
literally
cover with the protesters being witnesses.
Minnesota is tripping.
The full picture. See, not a lot of people are thinking about this. Not a lot of people are talking about it. How many of the protesters out there who may not be engaging in crazy stuff are there to document for ICE? Who are taking video, taking pictures, and seeing who's running over here.
Right on, no, makes sense.
How can you think that? How would you know? Did you see how quickly they caught the guys who broke into the FBI car and stole the weapon? Did you see how it was under 24 hours? I was like, how in the hell did they catch that person so quickly?
Social media.
Did any of you guys think of that? I mean, they're arresting these people left and right. I'm like, how? They just, in the cover of darkness, they're breaking into an FBI car. They've got masks and stuff on. They're hammering stuff in. And the next day, we caught them. And I went, oh, they got people planted. And you people are too stupid, not you. Them people are too stupid to know. There are people, obviously, planted inside the protesters.
Yes, Scott. Thanks for joining in, Scott. Yep,
everything.
USA.
They have no idea who's there going, yeah. And you're taking pictures. And who knows, they may be targeting them with some sort of laser beam, a freaking laser beam on their shirt.
Trump only got 3 years left. After Trump, I'm going to still vote Republican, still be American first. I'm MAGA beyond Trump, period.
So it's invisible until they can look through the infrared and go, that's him right there. I don't know what kind of technology they could have. I don't know if they've got some sort of drones up there taking pictures and videos.
Yeah, James tripping.
All I know is they just went into Venezuela, went into a compound with real guards,
yeah, Ozzy,
and let everybody else poop themselves and grab Maduro. And you're telling me these idiots running around in Minnesota, they found them in 24 hours? Tell me something else. Tell me something else. I was born, but I wasn't born last night. They have to have people embedded in there, and they don't
roll
even know
to
who
1,000.
So
roll to 1,000 subscribers tonight if it's possible.
And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans.
See, that's perfect. At this point, he gave people the opportunity to begin.
Yeah, voted for Trump. I ain't voting for no tampon Timmy.
Many of you, if possible, is filmed.
$9 billion in fraud.
The FBI or ICE or whatever.
Kamala Harris had $1 billion campaign. Now she's supposed to be with $20 million in debt. Tampon Timmy, $9 billion. These guys are corrupt. That's the mess they was in office. Crazy. Stop voting blue, no matter who.
I'm like, well, put one of those fake nose rings on and paint your hair and get your ass out there and take some video and take this freaking laser beam and, mark the people we need to look for later. There are a lot of people on the ground. Nick Sordo's on the ground. There's all kinds of citizen journalists on the ground. So it's not far-fetched to think that the good guys have people embedded as well.
Not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is We will not have to live like this forever. Accountability is coming at the voting booth and in court. We will reclaim our communities from Donald Trump. We will reestablish a sense of safety for our neighbors, and we will bring an end to this moment of chaos, confusion, and trauma. We will find a way to move forward, and we'll do it together, and we'll not be alone. Every day, we are working with business leaders, faith leaders, legal experts, and elected officials from across this country.
You see what he just did there?
Right.
You just told us you have a large group of people involved in this conspiracy, this RICO Act. You just told everybody we got pastors, we got other politicians, we got politicians across the country who are going to be working together on this. So if I'm Trump, I'm like, let it go a little bit longer. Are guys protected? Yeah. We got people embedded? Yeah. Let this go a little bit longer. Let's see who shows up. Let's see who the people are that want to insert themselves into this. And let's see how much they interfere with our actions. And damn if they didn't.
Jennifer, you funny.
They've all seen what Donald Trump is trying to do to our state, and they know their states could be next. And that brings me to the fourth thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota. How incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment.
All right. So number 4 should have been go home. Remember the January 6th thing where President Trump was impeached because, they thought he was inciting a riot? The last thing he said was go peacefully, and then he go home. There's been no go home from anything Tim Walz has said. There's been no go home from anything Jacob Fry has said.
Right.
Because there's been no go home, the exact same statutes that they used against President Trump, they now can be charged with. They set the precedent. They're the ones who said it was an insurrection and that President Trump incited it. And we're looking at you guys doing the real incitement. At least President Trump said, go home, let it go. You don't hear this from these guys. Nope. Not a word. Yet they have already set the precedent for charging President Trump.
But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, and Minnesotans believe in the dignity of all people. We're a place where there's room for everybody, no matter who you are or who you love or where you came from.
He's talked for 4.5 minutes. Did you hear the word American anywhere? Nope. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you love. Somehow this is, he's roped the gay people in. Doesn't matter where you're from. Yeah, it actually does.
The Epstein files been redacted before Trump even had them.
It matters a lot where people are from. If they're not supposed to be here, they're not supposed to be here.
And why keep bringing up the Epstein file? Why y'all keep doing that? Straight Democrats always do the and the liberals. The Epstein files. The Epstein files.
And we look out for those.
The Epstein files all Bill Clinton.
We're an island of decency in a country being driven towards cruelty.
And that one should get him the gold handcuffs. An island of decency. You're on your own out here. I said this a couple days ago. That was the one that struck me before I went and did the research. An island. You're the island. You're not a part of the American United States. You're not part of all what those guys are doing. We are the island of decency. Maybe because I am MAGA, I can take that as an
So y'all cool with Bill Clinton doing this? Y'all keep on talking about some Epstein files, but Epstein files literally got this all about Bill Clinton. Really?
And so I'm just hoping the people on the grand jury understand what he just said too. I don't need to follow what this guy says. I don't need to follow the Constitution. Because why? Because we're an island of decency here, and we don't care where you come from, who you love, what you do. His words. We don't care where you're from.
We will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, of peace. And tonight I come before you simply to ask, Don't let anyone take that away from us.
All right. Don't let anyone
So talk about Bill Clinton.
take that away from us. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And here's what he's been being investigated with. I want you to take a look at this. It said the DOJ is now reportedly investigating Walsh and Fry for alleged violations of U.S. Code 18372, which is one of the charges that the House January 6th committee said could potentially be brought against
You mentioned about the
Donald
Epstein
Trump.
files. It's all about Bill Clinton.
Exact same charge. Anti-Trump forces set a precedent for
You keep on talking about the Epstein files, but you didn't see this in the files? The files, you can Google it.
I don't sometimes when I see what Trump does, I think to myself, this man has taken 4 years and he knew what they did to him. And he's like, we're going to do that to them. Now they can't even argue. And here it is. Other conspiracy statutes, 372, 2384, depending on evidence developed by the Department of Justice, the president's actions with the knowledge of the risk of violence could also constitute a violation of 372, both of which require proof of a conspiracy. Section 372 prohibits a conspiracy between two or more persons to, quote, prevent by force, intimidation, or threat any person from accepting or holding any office, trust, or place of confidence under the United States, or from discharging any duties thereof.
Yeah, Trump would easily win.
He's going to try and remove Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. But the whole thing with this...
Thanks, Rocket. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
...was foretold. Again, the breadcrumbs, and then the breadcrumbs catch up. I wonder if the initiative into Minneapolis was planned based upon what the DOJ had already done. I know some of you thinking, what the hell are you talking about?
A black man that supports Trump needs some serious medication. No, a black man who don't support Trump, you need some medication.
For them to go into
Joe, you must have the booster shot.
To begin with. Again, nobody's talking about.
So makes no sense for you to say on that one.
And
I voted for common sense.
Some people's memories. Let me put it. What number am I going to go to here? I'm going to go to this one. All right. This was from January 7th. That's 10 days ago. The Honorable Pam Bondi, it's addressed to.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah, he probably was vaxxed. Voted for Kamala.
Oversight responsibilities. I am writing to formally refer Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to the Department of Justice for criminal investigation and prosecution for violations of 18 U.S.C. 371, which govern conspiracy to defraud the United States and aiding and
how I'm gullible. You gullible.
Offense.
That's funny. How I'm
January
gullible.
7th,
Break that down.
Was given to Pam Bondi. Light bulbs going off? Yeah, they should be. They should be right now. Information brought to congressional attention raises serious concerns regarding the administration of federally funded programs under Governor Walz's authority and whether actions taken by state officials obstructed lawful federal functions, including federal oversight, auditing, and enforcement mechanisms tied to the use of federal funds. I could go on to read the rest of this to you, but this letter here was put forth by Anna Paulina Luna, and this is, she says here, 18.
I voted for common sense. I know what a woman is. My mother, my grandmother, my sister, my auntie, my female cousin. Come on, man. I voted for common sense. You guys voted for having men and women's sports and all the other crazy ass shit. I voted for common sense. Come on, man. It's obvious. Like and subscribe.
Let me see if I can make it bigger. Makes it too big. All right. 18 U.S.C. 371 criminalizes conspiracies to defraud the United States or to impair, obstruct, or defeat lawful federal functions through deceitful or dishonest means, provided that an overt act is taken in furtherance of the committee. The seriousness of these concerns warrants careful and impartial review. Federal funds must be protected. Federal oversight must not be obstructed, and no public official is exempt from accountability under the law. I think they call that checkmate. And that was way back on January 7th. So we find out last night that they're opening a grand jury, and now the grand jury has issued subpoenas. And this goes back to at least January 7th when he was referred for criminal referral. And so the grand jury was already open. They've already been investigating him. It's just becoming public right now. Now it's starting to make a little bit more sense to you. And now CNN had to deal with it last night.
And look, based on their public statements, it's pretty clear that, and based on the statements of officials at DOJ, it's pretty clear there is concern that these two guys have used their positions and their public statements to try to obstruct the execution of federal laws. Now, whether that rises...
See, I didn't realize it, what Scott was saying here. Scott's a brilliant guy. And he's also got some insider contact. He's quoting 371 and 372. He knew there was a criminal referral. He just said, he says, rises to. He's talking about the specific statute, and these clowns on CNN are like, CNN have no idea what he's talking about.
This to a crime? I don't know.
Give me an example.
Yeah, where's that clarity?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they've both made numerous public statements that have made it perfectly clear that they do not want federal laws to be enforced in Minnesota, and that they flatly said they don't want ICE there enforcing federal immigration laws. They
That's
both
their
said
title,
that. They have literally both said, ICE, leave Minnesota. In fact, Tim Walz said we're on the third day of Gettysburg at one point.
He didn't say that.
He called them Gestapos, all type of shit. Come on, man.
Okay, sorry, but he didn't say that. Jacob Fry has said,
when things looked really bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held that line for the nation on that July 3rd, 1863. And I think now we may be in that moment.
To be clear, he is referring to a Minnesota regiment during the Battle of Gettysburg.
Hi, back with the breaking news.
CNN, they can lie to people because they don't expect that you've heard it or remembered it. And you saw Scott Jennings' face, like...
Don't forget Ilhan Omar, too. She need to go to jail, too. She need to go back to her country.
Oh, he never said anything.
Ilhan Omar don't respect America.
And I know
she love her president. She love her country.
The one time I talked to him, I could tell he was so astute. And this guy doesn't just say stuff to say stuff. And Abby, Philip, and the rest of the nuts out there, all they care about is trying to prove him wrong. They haven't
didn't agree with me.
The
it's cool.
Homework he has.
No problem.
He knew which statute they were going to go after him with. He knew what he did when he said the first time about the Gettysburg and, the Civil War. They're like, oh, yeah, he never said that. That's absurd.
Our politics lead, a source telling CNN that the Justice Department is investigating Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, both Democrats, allegedly for obstructing law enforcement. Moments ago, I received a statement from Governor Walz that says, quote, 2 days
Omar,
ago,
she want to initiate the daycare, well, not the daycare, but the Feed the Kids Act, something like that.
Threatening political opponents is a dangerous authoritarian tactic.
Something about feeding the kids during
The only person
COVID.
not being investigated for the shooting of Renee Good is the federal agent who shot her, unquote, and a source in Governor Walz's office also tells me that they have not been notified of anything. My panel is here. Archie, your reaction?
I think it's troubling, but it is a pattern that we have seen. And in some ways, it feels like it's, Governor Walz and the mayor have really been upset about not being kind of read into this investigation. So it's almost like a strong offense is a good defense. And so we see the Trump administration going after these folks because they really want a seat at the table on something that they are at the front lines of in terms of the shooting.
What the hell did she just say?
Don't know.
Between all the blinking, telling me straight off, she has no idea what she's talking about. When she did say something, what the hell did she just say?
Jennifer, the Somalia is about 80% on welfare. They getting money already.
My legs. They were caught completely
for the last 30 years.
And they had nobody to bring on and to discuss what had
so nothing
just
wrong with
happened
feeding people.
that they announced that they're under federal investigation, which they actually announced on January 7th.
Citizen Familiar tells me that
Protect
Minnesota
white
Governor
America.
Tim Walz
What the?
and the Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are both being investigated by the Justice Department. And a grand jury has issued subpoenas for both of them, though it doesn't appear that either have been served yet.
All right, so that's important because the
Right,
first
God.
newscast
That's all it's
that
about.
came out
Fraud.
where that Pam
Fraud
Bondi
is
was
not
going to
race.
try and subpoena him,
No
or
color,
the
no
oversight
religion.
committee.
Fraud is bad. That's all it is. Fraud
It's
is bad.
already at the point
And the Somali community got caught.
jury is
Somali community got caught. That's all. They got caught. That's it. It could be the Jews. It could be the Chinese, but it's the Somalis. So stop putting about race. No, you got caught. The fuck?
issued the subpoenas. What does that tell you? If the grand jury issued the subpoenas last night,
Blackout.
ergo,
Say I'm dumb. What's with the name called? How you doing? Name is Deunta. How you doing? I'm not
the grand
dumb.
jury has already been impaneled. The grand
But
jury
prove me wrong
has
then. How
already
I'm
been
dumb?
reviewing evidence. I want you to make sure you understand that distinction, because Caitlin had a little bit more to offer than what Jake Tapper did, and she said the grand jury issued the subpoenas. This didn't come from
Hey God,
the
check
House.
out Nick
It
Shirley's
didn't come from Pam Bondi. It
channel
came from the grand jury. The
about the
grand jury
Somalis and all
can't
that. You'll
issue
get a
the
better
subpoena
understanding.
unless they've already been impaneled and already been taking evidence. So these guys are knee deep, and it's too late. They're already in the trap. And as you know, they always say you
Some
can
of dumb
indict a
person I
ham
left
sandwich.
Chicago for Rockford.
I know Letitia
Well, you don't know the reason why I left
wiggled out of
Chicago.
one and-
What's
and
going on? You don't know who
wiggled
I
out of
am.
one.
Why you even
These
judging me?
guys
How you
ain't
doing?
Comey and Letitia James. I think these guys are absolutely cooked.
Besides, I got a better house in Chicago,
I
in
think
Rockford
they're gonna
than Chicago. It's much cheaper.
Walked out in cuffs relatively soon.
You want to
Because
know?
now they're at the stage, and this is what the other thing you have to understand. Now that they've been subpoenaed, whether personally or documents, now you're starting to think, oh,
Right. That's amazing,
crap,
ain't it?
I almost said the bad word. What do they already have on me? Because that's the first thing a lawyer's going to say. What do they got on you? Because in order to get the subpoena, somebody had to present to the grand jury, look at all this. And the grand jury's like, and then they ask the grand jury, we can get more. We just need to subpoena them. We need you to subpoena them so we can get even more to show you. And the grand jury said, yeah, go get some more. Here you go. Go do it. And so all the screaming they did a couple of days ago, then he quickly deleted that video. And I haven't seen much of Jacob Frey lately. Now they're realizing, and they're huddling and going, oh, crap. What do we do? Well, we got to show good face. We have to show that we're not scared, even though our depends are all soiled.
How you know everything about Rockford or about Illinois? You live out here, man?
So what's the best way to show it? Let's see if we could bring in a bunch of people to show their support.
How you gonna tell me about my life?
Like,
how I'm living? That's crazy.
Meanwhile,
you got to be a leftist.
They have to be.
You got to be a Democrat talking like this, texting like this.
January 7th,
Type
that
of stuff
referral
is
went
that?
in. January 12th.
The
grand jury was impaneled down here in Florida. Was it the same grand jury? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else talk about a grand jury being impaneled anywhere else in regard to you would know there are people who watch dockets.
Bro, people in Chicago, still got apartments. I live in a house. Bro, people in Chicago still live in apartments. I live in a house. So what you talking about, bro?
Down here in Florida, these guys are they're cooked.
Go Bears, baby.
What we
Bear
do know
down.
tonight, as we come on the air, is that the
Bear
Justice
down,
Department
baby.
investigation centers on possible obstruction of federal law enforcement. Both the FBI Director Kash Patel and the
No
Deputy
apartments in
Attorney General
Rockford.
Todd
Dude, what are you
Blanche were in
talking about?
Minneapolis today. And just a short time ago,
Where do you
Todd
live?
Blanche was on
'Cause
Fox
you
News
don't have no clue what you're
explaining
talking about.
or attempting to explain why the Justice Department is taking this action.
When the governor or the
I'm doing
mayor
good. How you
threaten
doing?
our officers, when the mayor suggests that he's encouraging citizens.
Dude,
to
I'm
call
living in Rockford
911
for
when
2
they see
years. What are
ICE
you talking
officers.
about?
That is very close to a federal
Hey, stay on
crime.
subject.
Just an occupation.
We talk about tampon Tim. Stay on the subject.
People in Minnesota that live in Minneapolis and St. Paul, which they are comfortable with when the president says he's coming for retribution because they think it's Democrats who voted against the president that he's coming after.
why I support the Trump administration is the administration of common sense.
I would think
Since
you're one of the ones
2016
that's
and now, it's common sense.
I think Tim Walz is one of the ones. I think Jacob Fry. Why you're not coming after Minnesotans that voted, unless of course you voted and you weren't supposed to. Now the net, you guys can see now the net has been cast.
Thank you.
Let's see the fish that we bring in here. And we know they're going to try and rope in Tim Walz. You know they're going to try and rope in Jacob Fry. This one here, who's also fear of retribution, might be the other big fish in the net.
But it is all of Minnesota. When my constituents call for help, we don't ask them who they voted for, because that is what it means to be an elected U.S. representative.
You're a little angry, Angie. You mad, bro? Why are you so upset? And everybody's sitting there clapping for her. And they know she might be one of the ones next. It's going to be interesting if the subpoena is personal or not.
I believe Trump stands for Americans. The man got family. He's a grandfather. So I'm pretty sure after he passes on or die or whatever, he wants his family to be taken care of. He is a billionaire.
Then they won't have to appear. But if it's an actual subpoena of the people,
black.
Ooh, this should get really good next
Blackout,
week.
So it is appalling. It is appalling for our colleagues on the other side of the aisle to be okay.
Drain the swamp, definitely. Get them rhinos out of there.
Retribution here in Minnesota. It is appalling for our Republican colleagues to be okay, for there to be cell detations in ICE for American citizens.
I know Trump don't give a shit about me. Trump don't know who the fuck I am. I voted for him. Hell yeah. Why y'all keep saying that shit? That Trump don't know me. I know that he don't know me.
Unless they're the ones who opened the bank accounts and did the wire transfers and showed them how to fill out the paperwork for fake daycare centers, I don't think there's many Americans that have to worry. By the way,
Trump was a Democrat. That's the thing about it. Trump was a Democrat. Elon Musk was a Democrat. A lot of people was a Democrat, and they switched from Democrat to Republican.
To be okay, for there to be checkpoints.
I was a Democrat, and I switched to being a Republican.
People are asked for their papers, and it is appalling for Americans to have to carry their citizen papers only to be told they are not sure if those papers are correct.
Do you think the white men have been discriminated against?
I'm just saying, ever since some of her people and some people did something, you know, when they did something on 9/11, you know, most of us didn't have to get strip searched to walk on an airplane. But somehow all of that's forgotten because the Somalis in Minnesota might have to prove they're supposed to be here. The Somalis in Minnesota are feeling uncomfortable because they're asked to show certain papers. I don't like having to show my driver's license, my registration, and my insurance if I get pulled over. But you know what? I have to. Why is it that Americans have to do so much? Why do Americans
have to Trump didn't take no money for his first term. He lost money being in office.
Las Vegas, she flies back in tonight. Thank God. She will be here tonight. Tomorrow morning. She leaves tonight at 10 Vegas time. She flies in at 6 a.m.
Right, Kevin. Gotta show you show you ID to buy a beer, board a plane.
You know what you got to do to get out of plane. And here's your ticket, boarding pass. Here's your ID. Hey, look at your scan here. We're going to fingerprint you. Bend over.
You need your ID to get a car.
Just because some people did something a few years ago. Why is it that we can be encumbered, and as much as we don't like it, we don't stand up and scream and bitch anymore? We're like, okay, here's this, here's that, here's the other thing. I remember when you could pull up right next to the airport and wait till the person you were picking up was coming out. Go, keep moving. Why? Do I look like one of them? Keep moving. All right. You don't even question it anymore. Where's the cell phone parking lot? Let me just go sit. All these things that Americans have had to do, the inconveniences that we accepted. And
you're just trolling right now, 5374. You're just trolling, man.
Prove who they are.
Glad you are. I appreciate it.
Unreal.
I don't want to curse, but those of us who escaped places like that, the one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states.
They don't know.
First, it was a what?
You heard it. I was going to bleep it, but I wanted you to hear what she just said. Oh, in an open hearing with other Congress people sitting there nodding their head. The U.S. GD states. This woman is a sworn politician, elected politician of those same U.S. GD states. The same GD states that my father fought for.
So you came on the chat to say that you make $65 an hour. That's what you're proud about to say on this chat about. That's all you're doing. That's crazy.
But my brother went to.
That's a blessing to you, man. I'm glad you worked hard to get that. That's what's up, man.
GD states. Those people who I just mentioned did it proudly. If they were alive, they'd do it again. And this monster, this complete scumbag, has the nerve to say these GD states. You know, if she were to get dragged out and hogtied someplace and by some people somewhere, I wouldn't even bat an eye. You just desecrated the same government that you have sworn.
That's right. Get this money.
How can anybody trust anything she says? How can anybody want to be governed by her? At some point, enough is enough, Minnesota. At some point, I gotta believe there's more good people in Minnesota than bad.
Right.
I gotta believe that there are people in Minnesota, if they hear that, would be, she gotta go. Let's recall her. Let's do whatever we need to do. This is not someone who's standing up for the ideals of America. No politician could ever stand on principle and say that's okay to say. No, I don't care about your freedom of speech. There is a line. I'm glad I wasn't in the room. I'd have ripped that thing off her head. Oh, you don't even know.
And we should all be ashamed that it is the United States that is allowing for this to take place, and it is being forecasted.
Damn, forecasted.
To the rest of the world,
damn.
People are calling and saying, "Are you sure this is America?"
I don't give one rat's ass what other countries are saying.
Right, fuck them.
Why are you,
this is America,
an elected official of this country, worried about what other countries are saying? Where is your allegiance? Oh, that's right. You took it out of schools. This is what happens. We took it out of schools. I pledge allegiance to the flag. We took it out of schools. We took prayer out of schools, and we substituted it with this monster. The fact that she said GD states and then said the rest of the world is like they're all pissed off. I don't care what the rest of the world thinks. I'm an American. Why would I care what they think? I don't live there. I don't have anything to do with them. I hope their people stay safe. But other than that, I don't give an F. I have not one F to give about other countries saying bad things about our country or our president.
I am ashamed, and we must.
I have seen the light. I'm doing great.
To bring back the
I'm at
America
peace.
we all escaped into.
I don't think you want that. Oh no, you don't want that. You don't want to bring the America back that it used to be. Because if you truly believe that, your ass would be back in Somalia walking with some dirty toes in sandals.
Preach, Barry, preach.
Back in Somalia trying to figure out which boat you're going to pirate. Your ass would be back in Somalia doing the dirty deed with your brother.
Right, I don't know. He came on calling people dumb and all that other stuff. Straight
America back.
leftist talking points.
Trust me, you do not want to see America back the way it was. Oh, no.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Trying to get 1,000.
We'll take a break after this next piece. But she was in there in some sort of congressional hearing, and that was what she said, and they applauded her.
Oh, that's what's up, Kev. Okay, Chi-Town.
This is just evidence for you guys who don't realize it yet. It's already there. My legs are shaking.
You're right.
I'm so
You're right, Tech.
and I saw it before I included it, and I was sitting here going, you just put me in, coach. I'm 65 years old, but put me in. Tell me, point me at her. They're destroying America, and President Trump has no other option but to tear it all down. Just bringing this entire diseased temple down on itself. We got to start over. Look at this.
With Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota, we are so excited that we have 28 members of Congress from all over the country to stand up with you, Governor. You have been such a strong champion to say that what is happening in Minnesota is absolutely not right. Tell us.
Well, Congresswoman, thank you, and to everybody out there across the country, thank you for standing with Minnesota. We're here today in beautiful, peaceful St. Paul, a place that we care for our neighbors, we care for everyone. This assault that we're...
Except Americans. Again, the words neighbors.
Right, Kevin. I have no complaints.
Seems like
I'm at peace.
We're here. Beautiful St. Paul, home of great Americans. Nope. Neighbors. What the hell does that mean?
Seeing is traumatic, but what I keep telling Minnesotans, we're not alone in this fight. We're on the right side of justice, the right side.
Oh, man, we're on a fat blunt. That's what's up, man. Smoke.
Send us your thoughts, prayers,
smoke dog.
And a huge thank you to members of Congress who are actually doing the job. In a few short months, this will be Madam Chair, and we'll start straightening this country out.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Grateful.
Thank you.
This guy, Brandon, you know everything. That's what's up, man.
I'll be back because my leg was twitching.
All right, Texas definitely hot in Chicago.
Breathe. Like what? Your leg is twitching. Is it showing? Yeah, you're pissed off. All right, I'm better. And I knew going into this and showing to people, I'm like, I can't not get pissed. And I know it's going to piss some of you off. And I saw this comment by Carrie. So my fists are so damn clenched right now, they are turning purple. I thought to myself, when we get to that section, you're going to put the beep in? I'm like, no. Y'all need to hear the exact same words she says. You need to hear what she says about your country. And PayPal was sitting right next to her. So you're okay with it. You clapped for it. My gosh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. You took that out of schools.
Man.
And so now you're like, you're ashamed. I'm ashamed. I remember, I don't know if my mom watched too many.
No, Tim ain't running no more. He dropped out because of Nick Shirley. He's not dropped out, but he's not running again.
On here, don't talk about this. Don't talk against the family. The Democrats just love talking against Americans. Everything they say is so
right for the immigrants. They ain't for the Americans.
Farmer's daughter says, I'm seriously pissed to the point I almost can't even look and listen to what I'm saying, so it makes me want these people out of this country. Yeah, I think we should use it as aspiration, motivation. Motivation to know without any other many of us who are Christian, we look the other way and go, yeah, it can't be that bad, is it? It's not really that bad. Now you know without any doubt. They're looking to tear and destroy America. And so at this point, I think President Trump not only does he have to declare the Insurrection Act, he's got to do so much. The nightmare that would exist if these people are ever allowed to be in power again. The Democrat Party cannot be beaten in a election, the Democrat Party must be destroyed.
It's crazy.
Jeffrey says, yes, it is that bad. They want America gone. They want the Bible gone. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Accountability is everything. Exactly.
Dang, I say you can't spell learning.
Yeah, when he said Madam Chair,
Y'all funny.
I almost threw up in my mouth too. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, one nation under Allah if we are not careful. Exactly. I think it's worse. I think we're living in the last days before the tribulation. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's bad.
Psalm 33:12. Going to church tomorrow. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. I completely concur. All right. Let's get back to the show.
When we talk about using language and words, and let's go to Mike on this, it's really language and words that lead to action on the part of the agitators on the ground. When you're telling them to film, to track, and calling this an invasion, Mike, that comes pretty close to incitement. And one would think you get text messages and you get emails.
All right, so this was the code 372 that I quoted earlier. If two or more people in any state, territory, possession, or district conspire to prevent by force, intimidation, or threat any person from accepting or holding any office, trust, or place of confidence under the United States.
And the story might actually get a lot spicier for them.
Yeah, under the Constitution, our U.S. Congress writes our immigration laws on behalf of the American people. Congress decides who gets to come and who has to go, and the president has a constitutional duty to enforce those federal.
I urge you to go, just Google that. Google 18 U.S. Code 372 so you can see the entire text of the statute. It's right there. Read it for yourself. I know this is quick going on TV, and when I showed it, look it up, 18 U.S. Code 372.
Immigration laws. That is the supreme law of the lands, and these local governors, these local mayors cannot interfere with federal immigration enforcement. That is not only is it assaults on federal law enforcement, you're looking at insurrection and seditious conspiracy, along with harboring, conspiracy in general, and many other serious federal felonies when you are inciting people to commit violent acts to physically obstruct federal law enforcement. So I would say
so understand what he's saying, which is very
Here we go to Epstein.
Mike Davis, the lawyer. They're not talking about the protesters being the insurrectionists. They've leapfrogged that. No, these people are nothing. They're idiots. They're running around. They're being incited. They're not the insurrectionists. They're going straight for the head of the snake. They want Tim Walz. They want Jacob Fry. That's who they're going to go after.
Right. With the Epstein's files, you had an attorney or a Congress lady on her phone talking to Epstein, doing a hearing. He supposed to have met King Jeffrey, what they call it, New Jersey Obama, something they call him, New Jersey Obama, some shit like that. Do your research, man. Pray for the victims, man. This should never happen. Pray for the victims, man. Pray for the victims. Blessings to the victims. But other than that, Obama had the files. The files should have been put out years ago, period. And y'all know that. But I keep watching CNN and The View. I get it. Like and subscribe.
Governor Walz and to Mayor Fry, you better back down or you're going to end up in federal prison.
I don't have a problem with that. And I hate how they always keep trying to say they speak for all Minnesotans, which is another crock.
I want to read something President
Turbo
Trump said
Tim,
today
thanks for subscribing.
In Minnesota, the troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists are in many
Uncle
cases
Bad,
highly paid
Tony Slaughter,
professionals.
thank you guys.
Is there any truth to that? How do you respond to that?
Why are you asking him?
Right, Hobbit.
See, this
Clint
is
Epstein,
how
right.
CNN and the media spins things. You're asking the guy who's probably going to have the next indictment or the next federal charge. You're asking him to explain his own insurrection. He would not know what a grand jury is looking at. President Trump does. President Trump probably gets reports. But
that's what's up. That's all it's about.
Might be understanding what the hell
Thank
is
you.
going
Thank
on.
you, Pretty.
The propaganda machine goes right into action, and let's let the fox tell you what they're doing in the chicken coop.
I would say that is an untrue statement. I have never met such a person as paid to be it's just a lie. I think you can put it in the category of Haitians in Ohio eating pets, or.
You really want to go there?
Yeah.
You really want to say that's the case?
Something like that. Just made up nonsense that we hear from Trump all the time.
Well, thank you for being a lawyer. 100 on that. Appreciate it.
I want to ask the question this way, Jake. We have no information that is true. We have information that in fact is false. And if he is going to make such a claim, maybe he should bring some evidence of it. We've seen no such evidence of it.
All right. This guy's an attorney, the attorney general of the state. He should know better. You wouldn't see the evidence right now. Why would they show the cards to the investigation? See, that the one thing that you do know is that the grand jury just asked Tim Walz and Jacob Fry and gave them a subpoena. So I would be very careful what you say right here, because you have no idea what they already know. You have no idea what that evidence already has been put before somebody. And Jake Tapper, you're being an idiot because you're trying to let people think, oh, there's no evidence, there's no corroboration, it's fine, it's just made up. But the two of them sitting there they know that the grand jury has been impaneled, and neither one of them knows anything in regards to what the grand jury has already been seeing.
People are outside because they're upset. They're outside because their neighbors are being hauled off and being arrested.
What?
People are upset for the reasons that people tend to be upset, like the death of.
You should have told and made sure your neighbors had their paperwork together. What the hell? It was your neighbors. Hey, your papers together? Your green card good? Bogus.
Renee Good and the shooting that happened in North Minneapolis, and
the shooting with the guys that tried to beat up the ICE guy with snow shovels and broomsticks. They're upset because of Renee Good trying to run over an ICE officer.
They was on document.
They're upset. What are they upset at? What skin do they have in the game to be protesting? If the people who were beating on the cop with a snow shovel ended up getting shot, and then we find out they weren't supposed to be here either, what exactly are they upset about? I read in the news where, somebody got, arrested or shot here. I don't go protesting. It ain't got nothing to do with me. If I read, hey, if some guy robbed a bank and then they caught him, and in the process of catching him, he broke or something, and he's no longer with us, I'm not protesting because I don't got nothing to do with it.
What?
What are these people in the street for? Well, the only reason I'd be out in 10 degrees below zero is if you're paying me. Somebody's paying them. Those signs, they didn't make those in their backyard. They didn't have all the clang danglers. What was the one I saw yesterday? The lady, she actually made hers. She brought a broiler pan out, looking like she's from Mad Max. But where are they getting the rebreathers? Who's paying for all this stuff? How can you spend 10, 12, 14 hours a day out there in 10-degree weather? Come on, don't be stupid.
People being yanked out of their cars. That's why people are protesting. That's why they're upset. Everyone I talk to and listen to has been urging caution and restraint by protesters, but also saying that people have a right to protest.
They should let him know.
Okay, Keith.
They should let any guest know. Hey, while you're talking, we got a split screen, and we're showing people not being peaceful. Remember the whole thing with CNN and like it's mostly peaceful protests and shit's burning behind them. It's like, dude, there's a split screen. There's a split screen showing protesters fighting with cops. You think you should know that? I'm sorry, Keith. I didn't know the producer was actually going to show that you were full of crap.
In the First Amendment. And so I wasn't there. I can't comment on any specific act, but I can tell you that overwhelmingly people are peaceful and disciplined and are protesting well within their rights, and ICE is provoking them.
Wow.
Jake Tapper, you should be ashamed. You should quit. And all these people in the media, it'd be very simple. Mr. Ellison, can you define a peaceful
Like and subscribe.
I mean, we hear it, Ben. It's sort of like fair share. We never get a definition. What do you really think peaceful protesting is? I don't see it. They're beating people up. They're throwing stuff. They're trying to tear down a fence. They're launching fireworks. Show me where the peaceful part is. And it is on television with the split screen right there.
Or trying to. And I do think that they're provoking. They would love a justification to invoke the Insurrection Act because I think that would give them an advantage in the election, namely to maybe suspend them, which.
You see, if you let them talk enough, they tell you what's really concerning to them. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say that, those neighbors.
Maybe another hour.
Worried about having to be.
Until this over. Until this over.
That's not my concern. I'm not really worried about them having to get on a plane and Tom Homan taking them away. I'm worried about them election. The election is what we're worried about. The election 11 months from now. That's why we're pushing all the chips in right now.
That we've heard talk about that as well. So these are some of my concerns. So thanks for asking.
I think what we need at the federal level is not spending tens of billions of dollars on ICE as they did in their last appropriations bill, but...
Okay, hold it down. This is a perfect example how this stuff is all BS and coordinated, and they hope you're stupid. At least they hope the people watching MSN now are stupid. I want you to hear this one more time, okay? Let me just rewind it like 6 or 7 seconds. Listen to this again.
Oh, thanks for asking.
I think what we need at the federal level is not spending tens of billions of dollars on ICE as they did in their last appropriations bill, but finally do real
Good one.
Immigration reform. That's something.
So that's Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania, governor of Pennsylvania, who's concerned that we might spend tens of billions of dollars with ICE. Katie Turr, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Katie Turr, is the MSN Now host who doesn't have any idea what the hell to ask him. But I'm going to give you some admission on something. Let me see if I can find it. Where did I put it? Hold on one second. I got to find this. Oh my gosh. Did I move it? One second here. Okay. Here it is. 1 second. I got to bring this up. You notice he said tens of billions on ICE for what ICE is doing. He has a problem with spending tens of billions. Interesting. What I would have asked Josh Shapiro if he had been on this show and said, Josh, well, good point. Were you upset at all with the $450 billion annually? Estimates of the annual cost of illegal immigration to the United States taxpayers vary significantly depending on the source.
The officer got hit by the car, bro. She hit him.
$150 billion to over $450 billion annually. This numbnuts goes on television and says, we spent $10 billion with that. Let's assume his number is correct. We've spent $10 billion on ICE, out there trying to reel in all the newcomers. Oh, she looks with her face like that. Yeah. But she didn't ask him that. What about the $450 billion annually that you've been spending? So what you're saying, over a couple of years, it could be close to $1 trillion, but you don't mention that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure my math is this is much more expensive than getting rid of that. But they don't expect you to do your homework. They don't expect anybody in their audience to go look it up. As long as the person asking the question doesn't bring it up, nobody's going to know. In my small corner of the world here, I'm trying to explain things to you. They're lying, and at the same.
That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen.
Why they out there? Why are they at home?
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. Out the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
If you look.
She said, baby, drive, baby, drive. She told her to leave the scene. She was bogus for that. She shouldn't have been there. She was there for about 4 minutes blocking traffic. Is that against the law, blocking traffic? Obstructing, yeah. I can't even get it out because the shit's so fucking crazy. Like and subscribe. She shouldn't have been there. You can't block traffic.
Pick it up. It's right there. All the everything that they are spending, 451 billion. Just after the education, the healthcare, the law enforcement. But they don't even add in yet the theft. So it's just 400, 200, 300 billion just to manage this monstrosity of an invasion. And that's before how much they stole. But he wants to complain about 10. I know you're mad again. I know you're okay. Sorry for making you mad on a Saturday.
Thing that has been close in recent years. President Trump threw a monkey wrench into that at the end of the Biden administration. That is what we need. We need to get ICE out of the position they're in Minneapolis to restore trust. And we need policymakers in Washington.
Restore trust to who? Into the newcomers? Because if ICE went away, I would say most Americans would say, you're not doing anything about this? So what we're seeing, as I said earlier, and as you can see on the bottom of my lower third, is they're pushing all their chips in here. This is it. This is the battle. They realize right now there is no...
Yeah, he did call her a bitch after that.
All the governors in the blue states are now beginning to acquiesce and realize this is their Appomattox. This is their Waterloo. Whatever battle you want to call it, this is where they're going to make their stand. Hopefully it ends up like Custer's. They're aligned. They realize right now they're stuck. And what they have to do to destroy America is make sure ICE goes away because, our neighbors need to be protected. And it's not just him, and it's not just Waltz.
In this administration and instead pass comprehensive immigration reform.
And in Virginia, our hard-working, law-abiding immigrant neighbors will know that when we say that we will focus on the security and safety.
Just watch the video. That's her honking her horn. That's her out there blocking traffic. Just keep watching the video. Look, that's her. That's her. Why is she blocking traffic? Why should cars go around her? Come on, man. Why cars got to pass her up? Why is she blocking traffic? She doesn't even live in Minnesota. She was a ringleader running around, doxing ICE, blocking ICE, causing chaos. She should even be right there. She's blocking about 3 minutes. They told her to leave. No, they told her to get out the car and she drove off. They said, get out the car and she drove off. She doesn't live there. I don't care where she dropped the kid off. And it wasn't her daughter, it was her son, dumbass. It was her son. Get your facts straight. Watch the video. A daycare, right? A daycare that she should, you don't get it. So,
Of all of our
so you mean to tell me it's okay for her to leave her home? Let's say she lived in New York. Leave New York, take her kids and go to Minnesota and chase around ICE. Drop her son off at a daycare and go chase around federal agents. And you think that's okay? Y'all cool with that? Make it make sense. Her dumb ass should have been at home with her kids. Why are you chasing ICE around? And y'all cool with that? Accountability. Make it great again. Wow.
Our neighbors,
Neighbors. That's a new catchword at this point. Our neighbors. Not Americans. Not Virginians, our neighbors. You know, these people, these immigrants. That's who we have to make sure is okay. And all the people with white guilt are...
mean them too.
Now going back to why people storming the Capitol. Y'all funny. Stick to one thing.
So, that she did the inauguration. That's the new, Spansburger from Virginia. And her first
Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Before anything.
Thank you.
She runs over to the governor's mansion or whatever, and her first order of business isn't to swear in a cop or no, we got something much more important.
And this executive order rescinds executive order number 47. State and local law enforcement should not be required to divert their limited resources to enforce federal civil immigration laws. It is a responsibility of federal law enforcement. Virginia state and local law enforcement officers must be able to focus on their core responsibilities investigating crime.
You said my wife? I have a black wife.
So her first
really? Who?
order of business
Y'all funny in this chat.
was to go in
Appreciate it.
and yank Glenn Youngkin's executive order mandating that local police officers had to cooperate with ICE. And so with all the things that she needed to do, the first thing she did, we got to get rid of that. We got to make sure that nobody here in this state is cooperating with ICE. Nope, none of you. It was that important. So what you're seeing, the alignment that you're seeing with Elon and PayPal and Waltz and Shapiro and Spansburger and Newsom, they are going all in right now. Right friggin' now, and they're going to do it. They're going to probably just try to bring more in, whatever they can. They do not want the ones that are there to leave. So if you're thinking Barry's been hyperbolic or dramatic by saying we're in a civil war, I hope that anger you feel so far is based upon understanding it's really here. It really is here. It's upon us. And it just depends on how you're going to react.
Are you willing to consider in some cases ICE has gone too far and is losing American support?
Pamela, in the last 5 weeks, we have arrested 2,500 criminal illegal aliens off of the streets of Minneapolis. If I can make my point, I appreciate your having me, but I do want to be able to make my point.
Sure.
The point of the matter is, I have not seen CNN cover who some of those individuals are. An individual from Ecuador, he murdered his 3-month-old son. An individual who's perpetuating...
So Trisha's bringing the receipts right here, and Wolf Blitzer and Pamela Brown, they don't want to hear this. They don't want Trisha just... Since you won't say it, I'll say it. And she's bringing the receipts.
Human slavery and human trafficking, scores and scores of murders, child pedophiles. Why does the media not talk about that? We continue to see that people love to demonize law enforcement, vilify them as they're facing 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And yet we're not talking about the great work that they're doing on the ground, the fact that they are risking their lives day in and day out to get these criminals off the ground. Gang members, known as suspected terrorists, these are all the people that we've arrested in Minneapolis. And DHS and Secretary Noem, President Trump, have done a phenomenal job of trying to give people transparency on who we are arresting. And yet we're sitting here talking about relitigating cases over and over and over.
Threats that don't have criminal histories. And there are people with final orders who had good process at great taxpayer expense or order removed became fugitives. And yes, we're arresting illegal aliens when we're out there looking for criminals. You want less collateral arrest, then let us in the damn jail. Try and Walz could fix this today. Let us in the jail so you can arrest a public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail rather than forcing us into the street to find these bad guys.
Let us in the jail. I mean, that's a clear order. He could do that today. He could do that right now as we're speaking, and I hope he does.
That's because they don't want them.
They want chaos.
Deported. They can't because they lose votes, and right now they are making their final stand here in January. Right now is where they're going to determine how this thing goes. And President Trump, I think, is ready for this fight because he knows, he has to know that everything they do on television, just like what Trisha just said, you never talk about this stuff. You never give people the real information, except the people in Minnesota and in some of these areas, they absolutely know what's going on. And it doesn't get publicized. All it gets publicized is Ilhan Omar and the people doing craziness in the street, but you never get out there and actually talk to the people.
This shit needs to stop, people. It needs to stop. All of us Minnesotans here are fucking fed up. Do you know how many people have to call in sick to work because they can't get to their jobs because you guys are protesting? You won't even let the people that live here. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Peaceful protesting is not blocking cars, including pedestrian cars, from getting to where they need to go.
Also, so as this woman is screaming, understand, is it next week, January 20th or 21st or whatever, is they're holding this thing where they're going to boycott. They're not going to go to work. They're not going to go to school. They're not going to shop. They're not going to go into any restaurants to really show you people they mean business. Mm-hmm. And you're asking for people around the country to do exactly the same.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.
I'm going to eat.
So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Because I'm kind of fed up. In fact, I'm really fed up. I just want to find a job so that I can start giving back to my community. That's what I want to do. I don't know what else to say. Y'all need to fucking give it a rest. Or at least be respectful. Like, people are scared to leave their houses because of how crazy you're acting. You don't even bother to ask if we're on your side or not. You just attack. So if there are any ICE agents watching this, God bless you. And thank you
God bless.
very much for your service.
That's what we need to focus on. I know she had a couple F-bombs in there, but she's pissed. I can't imagine if I lived in that area of Minneapolis and I'm just driving along and I can't go to where I want to get to. There's people blocking the street. So imagine wherever we are right now. I'm in Florida. We're seeing this stuff on television. Can you imagine living there? Can you imagine just being in all of that mess, that complete nastiness, and not being able to live your life, and you got nothing to do with it? They're not letting you pass. Nope, you can't go. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm not ICE. I live here. I don't care. See, good thing they're not in Florida. Because if they were in Florida, they'd be hood ornaments. The problem with everything you see in Minnesota and even in California, they've allowed these people to become poison. They've allowed these people to become toxic. They've allowed these people to interfere with good people, and good people, for the most part, have stayed good. There is going to be a time very soon where good people stop being good. It's just a matter of time before people are completely fed up. Right now, they think they're fighting the ire of the ICE agents and law enforcement and Trump. It's going to get really heated when a certain point happens when people like that woman and the good people around her, I've had it. Most of us have already had it. We're not even in Minnesota. I've had it, and I'm in South Florida, and everything's fine. You know how fine it is in South Florida? You know, Robin always yelled at me. And she's like, don't wait for the last minute to book a table for Valentine's Day. I'm one of those guys on February 13th, I start trying to find someplace to go to dinner, and I may have to like drive over to a restaurant and do some palm stuffing to a guy so we can get a table. And I said, for the first time in my 32 years of marriage with Robin, I'm going to call a month in advance so I can tell her when she gets home tomorrow, guess what, honey? I already have Valentine's Day booked. I called 14 restaurants. Wait a second. It's January 17th. You're telling me a month before Valentine's Day, you guys are all booked up. No, we don't even have a seat till like 9:30 at night. I'm not eating dinner at 9:30 at night. You ain't eating here then. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. This economy, at least down here, is absolutely blowing up. You can't get a seat in a restaurant 30 days in advance.
Thank you, guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Trying to
so
get
I had to go to one of our favorite restaurants.
Trying to get to 1,000 and better.
Had to do before. It was no different. Hey man, here's a little something. Can you give me a table? Yeah, okay. Imagine that. Every single day on the news, even twice a day, looked and saw that gas was $2.75 in Boca. And I'm thinking, this is insane. What do you mean? Gas prices are down. People were out. Restaurants are packed. People are doing things. Flights. I got to pick up Robin tomorrow morning at the airport. And everything's going well. The only thing that's not is their sycophantic hypnotism to try and tell people what you're seeing isn't real. What you're seeing is people are terrified of Trump. They're all pissed off. And I'm thinking most people don't even pay attention to what you guys show. And then if you take an aerial shot, which you never see, if they pull back and you see there's 50 knuckleheads in the street. When Trump said yesterday, no, we don't have to do an insurrection because it's like them same people. Have you seen an aerial of the Minneapolis area? If you see the aerial, you'll see why insurrection. There's like 50 people. They're probably the same 50 people. Don't let people gaslight you. Understand, I can't speak for every neighborhood in the country and say things are good or not good, but I'm trying to talk to people in different areas and different economic, what would normally be bad economic areas. Like, what's it like there? Can you get a job? Can you help out? Can you do things? And I want to take a second because something happened last night. or actually early this morning. Let me see if I can pull this up or not. Did X go down again? Well, looks like. All right, I want to show you guys something because I get these kind of this information from people, and it really makes me feel a certain way. Hold on, let me show this to you. All right, I don't know his name because he didn't use his name on X, but I want to show you something, and I loved that he said this. He said, Barry, thank you for everything you do for the community. Even if some of us, the trolls, would only listen to half of what you promote and share to help people. I started watching early in Trump's campaign, and then my wife, Carol, joined in and became a regular viewer. I know you might not see yourself this way, but you have made an incredible history teacher. Everyone here at Vampire truly appreciate your insight and the way you break things down, yada, yada, yada. And I just want to go down here because I definitely missed the boat when silver was trading around 12. No regrets, but wow, what a run it's had since then. These days, I have so many exciting directions I'm exploring with AI. We talked about that last night. And I'd love to see Carol embrace it more for her future too. To all the AI skeptics and haters out there, I hope you give it a chance and change your minds. It's opening up incredible possibilities. Thank you so much to SV and Ashley and the mods for your incredible dedication. And he shows this is his retirement account. Up 72%, up 100, 72% in 3 months. Don't let other people tell you what you can't do. Go for it, man, because these people, they're trying to take everything we know away from us. They're trying to make us feel like, we're crazy when we're not the crazy ones. We are on solid ground. We know exactly what we're going to be doing. We understand that God is here to help us. We understand that President Trump is here to provide us with opportunities. I don't need anything from the government. I just need the government to get out of my way. And I hope the government gets out of your way and that you can free your mind to try some things and realize it's there for the taking. And I just want to thank Yuck Fu for that post. It made my morning this morning because I hear so many negative things. And I got emails and I'm like, wow, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I just wanted to say that before I closed. Let's see here. What? Gas is $2.13 here in Amarillo. Can I get there by morning? Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. I love chocolate-covered strawberries. I really hate these anti-American Democrats. I'm shaking with anger the way that Sandra desecrated my country. Yeah, use that anger. Let people know what she said. Barry, can you do a stock show? Not advice. There's things that I feel comfortable that I have some expertise in, and there's things that I don't. I'll see if Ashley can bring on the guy from the Pelosi tracker again. He knows a lot more about it than I. Wow, you picked up that quick, Jeffrey. George Strait, Amarillo by morning. Yep, that was the song. Y'all know I love me some country. Yeah, so that was when I said, can I get there by morning? And he knew exactly what I'm talking about. The King. Yep, another one. Great. George Strait. Wow, I can't get this stuff by you guys. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Isn't that a George Strait song? Yep, Amarillo by morning. Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go watch. I'm not even gonna look now because I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna go watch the Buffalo Bills game, and then probably I think the Bills was the early game, and then I forget who's playing the late games. So don't say anything. Don't tell me who won or who's ahead. I'll look it up. And then I figured, I'm like, am I going to sleep tonight? Because Robin gets in at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, and so we'll see. I may watch the game where I'm still catching up with another rendition of Person of Interest. All right, so excuse me. Bukowski, brother, thank you very much. Rise in Phoenix. It's funny that ICE was created by the Democrats as a part of Homeland Security. And now they're angry because it's being used to help the country become great again. Bukowski, simple. President does construction, Democrats do destruction. I like how you said that. Chiosop, even Mike Johnson said the cadaver did know about some executive orders that were signed, and the cadaver said he never authorized it.
I'm gonna play one more and then that'd be it. Gotta go to work in the morning. Appreciate you guys.
Tallarico with 47% support.
And trying to say I'm too black, but the reality is that y'all never let the fact that I am black go. So I'm going to be clear about one thing. I know my good black history, but this looks like modern day slave patrols. And they have been sanctioned by this Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, voting for the Texas primary, we're now getting a glimpse at where the candidates for the U.S. Senate stand, including a major shakeup.
Yeah, KXAN's Barrett Tryon joining us in the studio with a brand new poll that's out from KXAN this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, hot off the presses this morning. This new poll from KXAN News and Emerson College Polling shows Austin area State Representative James Tallarico is leading Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. The poll of more than 400 likely Democratic primary voters shows Tallarico with 47% support, 9 points ahead of Crockett. Now, this poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 4.8%. And we caught up with both candidates earlier to see how they're feeling about the race.
I firmly believe that all 30 million Texans deserve a U.S. Senator who's going to fight for their interests, not the interests of billionaire mega donors.
When I touch grass and when I see people, I feel it. And it comports with what we were seeing and kind of our way of trying to test to see if my candidacy would get some of those people that normally don't participate to get involved.
All right, so we also asked about the Republican race for Senate. Those results show it's close right now with Attorney General Ken Paxton in a virtual tie with incumbent Senator John Cornyn. Congressman Wesley Hunt is polling third, and no one is close, though, to that threshold needed to avoid a runoff. 29% of voters say they are undecided right now. That poll covered 550 likely Republican primary voters and has a margin of error of plus or minus 4.1%. Now, the poll shows Texas voters are divided in their
Thank you.
President Trump.
Appreciate
the
it.
results put with President with a 48% job approval rating, with 46% disapproving. We also asked voters what they view as the most important.
Boy. So we got to revisit the devastating poll that came out earlier this week regarding ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Ratchet, who decided to run for Senate in Texas. Now, she's not going to win a general election race. I think that she's trying to get revenge on the Democrat Party because she knows that she has reached her ceiling in politics. She cannot go any further than being a Congresswoman from a deep blue district in Texas. She can't do anything else, right? Democrats are not going to make her a leader within their party because they know that she's toxic as hell when it comes to her race-based politics, that she's loud, she's unprofessional, she's just an embarrassment, right? I mean, for as embarrassing as Democrats are, right, they at least have enough sense to understand that, yeah, you know what, Jasmine Crockett might be too far, right? We can't put her out there as the leader of our party. And now you have Jasmine Crockett losing in a bombshell Democrat primary poll. And this basically is the end of her career, right? If she loses this primary race, she's done, okay? But I think that she knows she's going to lose regardless, whether it be in the primary or in the general election. And she's going to move on and become a, podcaster, or she's going to get some spot on CNN or BS Now, probably BS Now, okay? Who knows, okay? I think that's what she's aiming, right, for. I think she's aiming for The View. I think she's aiming for television. I think she wants to be a social media star. I don't think she actually wants to be a member of Congress anymore. Right? I think that this is her
She don't.
revenge on Democrats on the way out because she knows that she can't win. Democrats know that she can't win. And she's essentially sabotaging any chance of Democrats winning this seat out in Texas, which they really didn't have a good chance of winning regardless. But with her, they basically have no shot. Okay, and I want to talk about it because you have Republicans who are now they're funding Jasmine Crockett. They're saying, no, we got to put money behind Jasmine Crockett to get her through the Democrat primary that she's currently losing.
What's very troubling for Crockett is that this poll had her down 34% with Latinos. It was only an 11% deficit in the first poll. Maybe this has circulated more and more. That deficit with Latinos coupled with a 30% deficit with white Democrats isn't sustainable for Crockett. Her winning coalition looks something at least like this: 40% of the white Democrats, 40% of the Latino Democrats, and 85% of the black Democrats. Also, Texas has an open primary, and Tallarico is winning them by 30% in this poll, so that's a huge boon to his electability argument. We are a month and a half away from this primary, and Crockett still does not have her issues and positions up on her Senate campaign website. But what we do know is that the donations to Tallarico's Senate campaign look a lot cleaner than Crockett's donations while she was serving in the House of Reps.
Oriana, do these
Thank you
numbers,
guys. Appreciate it. Almost at 700 subscribers,
what the
man.
Democrats
Thank you
here in
guys.
Washington, we're watching this one closely, make of this?
I want to say that they're not surprising, actually. Notice has been following this race particularly closely. And what my colleagues, actually, Daniela Diaz and Alex Wardy, found recently was that a lot of the donors.
That's why we got to get out there. Y'all got to get out there and vote. Vote. With them Democrats and them libtards and them Karens, they going to go out there and vote. So we got to vote as conservatives, Republicans, MAGA. Vote. Vote for common sense.
That Jasmine Crockett has are people that have donated to Trump in the past. So think the Winklevoss brothers, Lockheed Martin's PAC, the Coinbase.
This is the last video, and then I'm going to bed.
Have given
Got to
money
work in
to
the morning.
Republicans and Trump in the past. And that has alarmed a ton
The wife
of
waiting on me.
Democrats, consultants, strategists, and officials who say that means that Crockett is not the progressive candidate that she says that she is. And so it gives Tallarico an advantage in the race.
And part of the reason those Republicans might be donating to her is in hopes that she wins and makes it easier for Republicans to hold on to the seat, right?
Precisely.
Yeah. What do you think, if anything, would take to have Democratic leadership get involved in this one? Because so far they've been like, we're going to let this one play out.
They've been very diplomatic, not just in this race, but in a lot of races across the country, even in the House, where Democrats are obviously building as strong and offensive as they can and going into the midterm elections. It's been interesting to watch, especially today, what's happening on the other side of the aisle in this race. We saw Senate Majority Leader John Thune basically say that they've tried to get the president to endorse Senator John Cornyn,
who is incumbent in this.
Thank you.
And he doesn't think that they'll be able to deliver. John Cornyn was asked about it. He said there's only one person who knows why Trump hasn't endorsed, and presumably he was referencing God. And so interesting GOP tension over, having a majority that maybe is not your perfect majority, but is certainly better than a minority.
Right, because the concern is if Cornyn loses the primary in a three-way
I mean, when I go live, it's kind of random when I go live, but I try to go like 3 times a week.
The Democrats could conceivably pick it up.
Monday, Wednesday,
there's no way
and try to do at least twice the weekend.
Tallarico, who's a minister from the Austin area, presents differently.
I'm a weekend warrior. I work 3 days,
Texas statewide
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12-hour shifts.
So
So
March 3rd, there's a second round. We'll go from there.
Yeah, so you saying that, you heard that. Now, the biggest red flag for
so
Jasmine
one from there,
Ratchet
kind of random.
in this poll is
But
the
I'm
fact
here.
that she's losing big with Latinos, whites, independents. She's only +1 with women, right? Which again is really, really, really bad considering how she's a woman. And she's only +1 with Democrats, which is really bad, right, as well too. And also on top of that, she's only +72 with
Right, Jasmine's not going to
she's
win.
essentially underperforming in every demographic that you could think of possible, right? I mean, it's very, very, very bad for her. Okay, and the issue is that particularly when you look at white voters, Latinos, independents in particular, right? Like, she's going to need those demographics to win a general election. So even if she sneaks out in the primary, if she doesn't have good appeal with Latinos, whites, and independents, it's going to be a problem, right? It's going to be a huge, huge, huge problem in a general election. And that's her big issue, right? And again, I mean, as you see here, she apparently doesn't have.
No, I don't want Jasmine to win.
either, right?
She hasn't done anything. All she do is talk crazy.
Significant.
That's not getting no
when it
bills
comes
and
to
policies done.
her race against
She gonna be TikTok famous. She ain't about policy.
She's in big trouble. Now, am I surprised by this? No, I'm not surprised by this. The reason why I'm not surprised by this is because Jasmine Crockett has built her career off of race hustling and attacking people based off race. She said that Latinos who vote for Trump or support Trump.
Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you.
She said about white people. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that those groups of people are saying, we're not going to support her, right? Even in the Democrat primary. So keep in mind, the Texas primary is an open primary, which means that other voters outside of Democrats can actually vote in the primary, and that's a big deal, right? That is probably going to be what costs Jasmine Crockett if she loses the primary. But I want to say this. For as much as I would like to see Jasmine Crockett's career ended as soon as possible, I kind of want to push it off, right? I'm kind of hoping that she wins the primary and loses in a general election. It's actually not great news.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Trying to get to 1,000 if possible. But I'm very grateful and humble. I'm very grateful and humble to you guys. Thank you.
Democrat primary is also bad news for him and his grip. And the reason why is because Roland Martin is one of these Democrat consultants who swear up and down that Democrats need to lean more into race-based politics, right? Cultural Marxism. And if Jasmine Crockett loses in the Democrat primary versus James Tallarico, people like him are done, right? They're done, right? In regards to their influence, which, let's be real, he didn't really have that much influence in the first place. But somebody like Jasmine Crockett losing basically destroys any credibility or influence that he may have had in the Democrat Party due to the fact that she can't even win a Democrat primary in the state of Texas, which is the state that he's from. And because of this, he is now boohoo, whining and crying. You guessed it, racism, right? Apparently, the far left is racist, okay? Because the Marxists, they aren't digging.
What I think about her opposition about, I don't know. She don't have any. It's not even on a website, I don't think. Listen to it. What? Come on with this. Oh,
Jasmine Crockett, right? Even though she is far left on the issues of race and social issues, she's not far left enough on economic issues, at least for the socialists, and that is why they're not feeling her. Okay, so again, Roland Martin here is going to cry racism and say that, well, this is because of white people, right? White people just don't like a black woman. They're attacking.
I don't talk down black women at all. No women at all. My wife is black.
Jasmine Crockett's career. And,
but Jasmine Crockett hasn't done anything but talk crazy for TikTok. That's all she's doing.
Many white progressives have been highly critical.
It's a shame of me. It's cool. I appreciate that, but no, ain't no shame of me. It's cool.
As if Tallarico does not have the exact same stance that she does, and so you had a lot of that going on. You had these two. You had this white and Asian comedian who implored people not to give any money to Crockett.
Hey, subscribers come and go.
So hard that they had to actually come back and backtrack and apologize for those comments, and then you still had these other white progressives.
Loyalty is everything. Loyalty is everything. Thank you, guys.
And so there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion around this, and this is why folks say, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? And then, of course, you've got folks seizing on her comments regarding Latino voters having slave mentality in terms of voting for those comments she made during the interview, voting for Donald Trump, and folks like, oh, there you go. So she's going to get a Latino vote away. And so it's been quite interesting what you've seen in these Democratic progressive circles, massive attacks against Crockett. And what's laughable to me, Steve, is that I'm a native Texan. I can go back. If you pull up the data from every single U.S. Senate race in Texas, dating back to Lloyd Benson being the last one to win a race, you've had a minimum of 2 candidates running in the Democratic primaries. You sometimes had 3, 4, 5 or more. So it's amazing to me to listen to these people get offended because she dare run as if she didn't have some right to do so. And their positioning of Tallarico as somehow being the perfect candidate who can somehow steal this Senate seat that is actually deeply.
Yeah, so this
you got me?
Yeah, I hear you. I have got you.
Right.
Yeah, so leave it to Roland Martin to have a bad production here. But anyways, what he's basically saying, what he's coping over, is the
Well,
fact
nobody's
that
using me
what he calls white progressives, right? All
at
the
all.
whites are turning against Jasmine Crockett, right? They are basically saying, you know, Jasmine Crockett is a bad candidate in Texas, okay? That she's not going to be able to win a Senate seat. And they're right about that. They're right about that. They're not criticizing Jasmine Crockett for running when somebody else was already running. They're just saying that she can't win, right? She personally can't win. They don't care about Colin Aldridge, who is black, right? If he was running, I don't think they would care that much, right? They didn't care that much last time. I don't think they would care that much because he's a better candidate, right? He would be a better general election candidate than Jasmine Crockett. So that is what Roland Martin is missing here, okay? What he's missing is the fact that she's not a good general election candidate, right? It's about running the person who gives you the best chance of winning in the general election. And again, this is why I'm rooting for Jasmine Crockett. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for her to win the Democrat primary. Okay? I don't want Tallarico to be the person. I don't want him to be the guy. But Roland Martin here needs to understand that Jasmine Crockett doesn't have the appeal that you believe that she does, and you can't sit here and continue to boo-hoo whine and cry racism. Because remember, a black guy won it the last time. The problem's not that Jasmine Crockett is black. It's the fact that she's a loud-mouthed ghetto woman, right, who constantly has to remind everybody that she's black and a woman. And turns out that that doesn't have mass appeal, right? That Roland Martin and his strategy that he, you know, pushes Democrats to go along with, turns out it's not really a winning strategy, right? Race hustling is not something that can bring together a coalition to win in a moderate state or a red state like Texas. Not even in the Democrat primary.
You hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really laid bare many of the problems within the progressive movement in the Democratic Party within this country, both in terms of the reluctance and the higher level of skepticism and doubt, both on race and gender. So there's a predisposition to want to feel comfortable to actually attack the black woman candidate, and I don't think there's a lot of self-awareness in the Democratic Party.
AKA, you can't attack the black woman. And don't get me wrong, I love the infighting. Don't get me wrong, I love the infighting. I love the fact that these race hustlers are calling them Marxists. Well, you're racist, right? Well, you guys are racist. You just don't like a black woman, right? I love it. I love it. But just understand that both parties here are equally ridiculous, right? They're equally ridiculous. Both sides. Jasmine Crockett is equally ridiculous. James Tallarico is also ridiculous. They're all ridiculous. Okay, these are all ridiculous people infighting over nonsensical things, right? And I personally think that this is the biggest problem with Democrats is this type of stuff, right? This type of, oh, well, you know, you can't criticize this woman because she's black, right? Or that, hey, your criticisms are not policy-based. They're not genuinely about the issues. It's just because she's black. Maybe, just maybe, they don't think that Jasmine Crockett is actually progressive enough, which, I mean, it's hard to believe, right? Especially on social issues, but that could possibly be the issue. That could be the issue.
And then the other part about this is that there's this article in the New York Times where it's saying that Tallarico was the savior for the Democrats. And there's this deep-seated desire among Democrats to find the right white candidate who's kind of this age of enlightenment person who can reason.
Wow. Thank you guys, man.
And then win over the Trump people.
Thank you guys so much. 300 more to go to 1,000, man. Thank you so much.
Get them to see the error of their ways. But Texas has had 30 years of Democrats not winning. And so it really is a fool's errand in that regard, at the same time as there are 5 billion people of color who did not vote in the last midterm election. So that's where the upside is.
Thank you.
So which candidate offers that?
Well, I've had to push back.
How you doing, Sandwich?
Saying y'all clearly don't know a damn thing about Texas. The reality is 60% of Texas is black and brown. 60% of Texas is made up of Latinos, African Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans. 40% white. Yet, when it comes to voting, 60% of the people who vote are white, 40% are Latino, African American, Asian American, Native American. So the reality is, what I have been saying for the longest is Texas is an unorganized state. Now, it does not mean that you don't have
God bless.
black
God bless everybody.
conservatives, Asian American conservatives. They exist. Native American conservatives, they exist. But the reality is, that's what you find in this state. Democrats have frankly given up on the state for a very long time. When Beto O'Rourke ran against Senator Ted Cruz, he lost by 2.5 points. Then Congressman Colin Allred almost lost by 10 points to Ted Cruz last year. And what was also crazy, listen to the same people who were sitting here saying, "Oh my God, that Allred was a perfect candidate." I was kind of like, did y'all just skip last year where he literally lost by 10 points? It did not really gin up the vote among African Americans. And so then you hear all of this, "Oh my God, Crockett is so liberal. She's so liberal, and she's so polarizing." When what you need is somebody who can actually activate that vote. And so her strategy is, how can I turn out an abnormally large percent of African Americans, and then also tap into a lot of Latinos who are angered by Donald Trump and MAGA and their policies. And so what I've said, and again, I've met with Tallarico. I've got his number. I've texted him. Of course, I know Crockett as well. And I really want to say to people, shut the hell up. I mean, the point of a primary is to get the best candidate as opposed to crowning somebody. And so I don't know what the hell these white progressives are talking about. And I've said, the last point here, Steve, I've said to nearly all of them, I think y'all shut the hell up because y'all not even from Texas. You got people from San Francisco, New York City, all these other places. I had some asshole who was from Australia who was sitting here commenting. I was like, what the hell? You know nothing about Texas. And that's also what's crazy.
Yeah. So you see that here and that. Full-blown cope. Full-blown cope. Hey, maybe the white progressives are racist. I don't know. I just find this to be entertaining. I personally think that, Jasmine Crockett is just a bad candidate. I just think she turns off more people than she turns on, and I think that these people just refuse to accept it. And like I told you guys, Roland Martin's career is tied to this, right? Jasmine Crockett failing, right, losing in a Democrat primary will be devastating to people like him because it means that his ilk, right, have zero influence whatsoever, right? No real influence, okay? Which, I mean, is true today, but, I mean, this would essentially be the icing on the cake, right? This would be concrete evidence that, hey, this guy, he doesn't really have broad appeal, right? The type of politics that he promotes is not really, it ain't something that can really win elections, right? Again, especially in moderate in red states. So, I would prefer to see Jasmine Crockett win a Democrat primary and lose the general. But if she loses the primary, that would be the most embarrassing way for her career to be ended, right? By losing a Democrat primary at the Senate level, despite being a social media superstar, right, and a strong black woman, to lose in a primary, yeah, that would be devastating.
His name is Greg Foreman. Greg Foreman, Black Perspective. Here you go. Black Conservative Perspective. His name is Greg Foreman. All right, you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys gave me to 700 subscribers, man. Thank you so much. I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning. Thank you, guys.